Good morning and good afternoon, depending on wherever you at the time of this recording. This is episode 115 of the Restricted Zone podcast, and I'm with a great crew today. Kyrie, introduce yourself to Restricted Zone fans, man.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Let's get it going.
Yes, sir. Johnny, introduce yourself to the people out there, man.
Hello, world. Just Johnny tapping in again, baby. Just the analyst, not an advocate.
Just the analyst, not the advocate. Lodge, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Let's go. And we are here live in action, straight basketball, and we're back to talk about the youth, the young generation. Once again, the NBA draft is 2 days away at the time of this recording. Definitely a big event. I think it's actually bigger than the NBA Finals. I think a lot of people are more tuned in for this draft than the NBA Finals. So that says something. Rarely
Don't
NBA
disrespect
drafts.
that, bro.
Yeah.
No, they wasn't.
Yeah, don't disrespect.
Yes, they
like that,
was. Yes, they was, man. The draft is hype this year.
Yo, I don't
Usually
care
when
what
the
anybody say. This NBA Finals is lit, bro.
I
I
think,
enjoy
well,
it.
look, yeah, the basketball fans, if you really love the basketball, wasn't looking for the historic matchups, all right. But really, this is one of the few times the draft get a little bit more, shine than the actual NBA Finals. And usually drafts like that turn out to be very good. Kyrie, not feeling it, nah.
No, I see
But
what you're
listen,
saying. No, I see what you're saying.
so
No,
listen,
I
man.
had to take a look real quick. I see.
I'm about to say I don't got that in my notes, but
You don't
I
got
got
that,
you too.
Oh, you the advocate, man. You the
I about to say
analyst.
I about to say I'll analyze. I got your back, see, but on this one,
Oh, you got my.
we gonna do
Listen, man. But
comparisons to the finals to the draft. It's a better draft than it was last year.
that's you have to be
Oh, wait,
debated.
whoa,
We
whoa,
about to.
whoa,
Oh, we
No,
had
The
that
first
has
two
no,
picks, the first two picks alone,
no,
the first two
no.
the
picks
first two
alone,
picks.
the
First two
first
picks
two picks.
alone.
Like,
We
Who's
are not
saying
about to wait. Hold on. This is a whole
who's
no.
saying that pick
Johnny,
the
you not about
last
to
10?
pull me into this. You not about to pull me into this grave, bro. We can
yeah.
have this conversation at another date, bro.
Oh
You are
my
bugging.
god.
Oh
We
man,
can
but
we
look,
matter of fact, hold on.
We just
Actually,
talked about this before too,
you know what
though.
we can
This
do?
draft class compared to last year's draft class, bro, they getting smacked.
We can
are
you
we
know
are we are
after
we Johnny? Are you saying just the top two picks? Because
The top two, the top first of all, the attention that the draft got alone just off the top two picks, it leads me to believe that people a little bit they anticipating this year a little bit more.
bro, Paolo
I
and
don't know. We have
Franco?
yet
What?
Simply because
we
of
we have
Wemby, bro.
yet to
It's
see.
simply
We
because they
got we
never
got to
seen
see,
anybody
man.
like Wemby. That's why.
Bro, I'm telling you right
Wemby,
now. I'm telling you right now, Brandon Miller is not even a. I don't even think, bro, I'm lottery pick, bro. I'm sorry, lad. We talking about last year. He damn sure not
Uh,
top five.
He not
so
top
y'all don't
five
like
from that.
nobody. Y'all don't like nobody from we got a generational talent. I ain't see this happens like once every what five to 10 drafts
Bro,
that we have
I'm
a
telling you right
generational
now.
talent of this
That
caliber
that that
that's
first
coming
game,
out.
that first game when we played Paolo, bro, it's gonna be the same thing Kenny Lofton was doing to him. So it's but worse. So it's just I don't know what I don't know.
And
I get it, but it's cool.
honestly, this draft wise, like from like the only talent I really see stacking up to like the talent at the top of last year's draft is Vic and Scoot and maybe Amen, but that's about it.
Bro,
Like
they got
last year had some hitters. They had Keegan, Shaden, Jaden Ivey was putting in work. We didn't get to see Chet, but like Jabari Smith
Benny.
had it started off slow, but at the end of the season he really picked it up. Like
Benny. You say
and
Benny?
my Benedict Mathurin, his teammate Andrew Nemhard, like
All right, we'll see. I
We
guess I
can
guess
no
we got to see after the
no
first two. I guess we got
after
to see.
listen no we can do this after our post draft recap after the draft is over we can dead just shoot we can just shoot it don't matter because I know you was about to have us in a whole hour debate, bro. I know how you get.
Oh man, listen, I'm just saying, based off the critics and based off it's me. I'm tuning
It's
in.
an argument. It's an argument for sure, but I'm willing to have
It's
that
an
argument.
argument based off not off the first, maybe the
it's,
first
it's not it's
three.
not too much of an
First three
argument.
can argue.
It's a
The
quick
first
argument. It's a quick high and by argument. Not like
the
it's
first
not like
not
no
the
in depth
entire
argument
draft
like you
class,
probably
but the
have right
first
now.
three picks. The first three picks is probably something worth talking about. Not the entire draft class of last year, but the first three
I'm gonna be
picks probably
honest,
something worth
Johnny.
talking about.
Chet. I don't even remember the order, but it don't even matter the order. Chet, Paulo, and Jabari Smith from Brandon Miller, Scoot, and Wemby. I'm sorry, Brandon Miller gets clean no matter how you match it up.
That's arguable.
It don't matter.
to be honest with you,
Not the
and
same-
You only
not the
picking
same
one out the
caliber,
three though.
bro.
That's getting clean. You only picking one out the three. I ain't
no,
saying,
and
you
I'm
ain't
gonna be
saying
honest
that
with you. As
whole
much,
three.
no, hold on. I'm gonna be honest with you. Depending on who you met Scoot up with, he's not. I'm not taking Paulo out for Scoot. I'm sorry, not yet. I can't. And we lucky Chet didn't play this past year.
And I was just thinking, if Scoot was in last year's draft, Paulo would have went number one. Like, and like, because there's been an argument saying if Scoot was in any other draft outside of like because he's in the draft with Wemby, that's why he's not considered a number one pick. But there's a lot of talk saying Scoot in any other draft is a number one pick, and I can see that to an extent. But as far as last year's draft, I don't see that. I
don't
still
see
got
him getting
Paulo.
picked before. I don't see him getting picked before Chet either, bro.
I think he could get picked. I think he would get picked before Chet. It depends on what they would need at that point. I mean, the Thunder, they ain't really need a point guard at that point, so probably not. But still,
Chet need to come back. Can't wait for him to come back.
yeah, I don't
I'm
know
back.
why Colin went there.
I'm
Here you
back.
go.
All right. Had to handle something, but we're back. So you guys had fun with your debate before we even got to the actual.
We had to cut it short.
I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. But we'll talk about it later.
We dead can't have this conversation now, bro.
That was a great listen. But listen, we gotta dive right into it. We're flying all the way to Texas, man, particularly San Antonio. And man, I think they have the easiest pick out of any franchise, obviously.
Bro, you might just skip the two.
You want to skip the first two?
I mean,
no, the second one.
I said skip one. Just go to two,
skip
bro.
one. All right, man. We should skip
I think we
one.
all unanimous at one.
The first one, yeah.
Listen, but I will say this though. Even if we skipping one, we obviously know who the pick is. Bro, I do question some things with his game. When be honest, I question some things with his game.
Oh, if you want to do that, I'm with it.
All right, let's question
because we already know what he can do. We've already seen him. We know what his caliber is. We know what his potential is. We know what he can do. There's no point in talking about that. I question his shot consistency. He was like 30% from the three-point range, and his passing in transition. The guy was average. I mean, for his position, I'm pretty sure like he won't be. I'm not going to say he's going to be the primary ball handler for his position, but compared to these hybrid centers that we've seen over the years, I'm going to expect this guy to be able to have good vision in fast breaks and being able how to pass the ball, especially with somebody of his talent. You got to expect that he's going to get double teamed soon. I think his passing is an issue, and I think he can shoot the ball a little bit more consistently. So I mean, at the end of the day, he is what he is, but he is going to be good. I'm just curious to see those improvements if he does work on that.
The only thing I would have to add, Johnny, is to me, I feel like his defensive potential is very high, but I do feel like in multiple cases throughout his career, unless he figures out unless one, he puts on weight and or figures out a way to kind of manage it, I feel like he can get overpowered very easily and get taken advantage of. Based off what I've seen and what the comp he's played for, I can give you at least 3 or 4 or 5 centers right now can literally make his night look like a pedestrian night. And half the people I can name are players that really aren't. They're great talented players. I can just give you one random name like Karl Anthony Towns. Any given night, he's gonna have to play him 3 to 4 times this season. Mm-hmm. And Karl Anthony Towns ain't no slouch, but to me, honestly, he isn't to kind of like he.
That's still somebody
who's doing extra state.
You're not running home, telling your kids to watch him, but he damn sure is a good player considering his production and all. But again, a player like him, if you even want to go further and deeper, a player like Joel Embiid, you probably want to see him but once or twice this season coming up.
Bam.
He's gonna have Bam. That's another one or two this season. Yeah. Jokic, he's gonna have to see 3 to 4 times this year.
Alfred, the bonus you're gonna have to see a whole lot.
I like Alfred Sengun. I like Sengun from the Rockets. I like him. That matchup, he'll probably give him problems. But at the end of the day,
you got to throw out there for him too. Yep.
And that's a good point that you mentioned the competition because he was averaging about 3 to 4 blocks like in that France.
Which I still think translates. I can still see him averaging 2 to 3 this season. But again, I feel
11% block percentage last year.
That one-on-one block defense, I feel like there's going to be a way to exploit him and definitely in certain situations. So maybe I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Again, I don't mind. Obviously, I want any type of prospect to be the best they can be because better they are, the more the league is notoriety and it gets better.
Young talent, of course.
I see like what a lot of you guys saying. So I definitely agree with y'all. And I just attribute it to it's just gonna be growing pains until like Lars said he does put on that weight or he does like find a way to grow physically and to be able to take more of a punishment down low because he is playing against a lot more physical bigs, a lot like stronger bigs. But I think it's growing pains that every big is gonna like a lot of like young bigs went through. Like think of Rudy Gobert when he first came through. And not comparing him as prospects whatsoever, but
Yeah, he
comparing him
still
as
got
guys.
growing pains.
Yeah.
Exactly. The boy can't move his feet. But even then, when it came into being in the paint, one nice little shoulder to the chest, he was out your way. He couldn't really compete with you physically. Kristaps Porzingis, live, you've seen it firsthand. Yeah, he's 7'3". He's going to get his blocks. But certain guys, like back in the day, like a Reggie Evans, or like guys that are like really gritty and get to them rebounds, they like you said, they gonna show you up and they gonna show you like this is a grown man's league. But it's gonna
Yeah.
be growing pains. It's gonna be growing pains. It's gonna be something he's gonna have to go through. We seen it. We seen it already. It was I don't know who it was, but it was one of his French league games. One of the a big man from another team straight up with one shoulder check dunked on him, like made him look like a little boy. And guys like laughing at him, like yo, like this is like did we bring this to the NBA? This that, and the third. And it's like yo, anybody that's over 7 feet tall and not built like Joel Embiid or not built like Nikola
Zion
Jokic out
Williamson.
there, exactly. Like they going to go through that. They're going to go through that trouble. You know, like it's just part of like guys being built like that.
Yeah, and
Hell,
that'll be a
hell, even
string.
Giannis was skinny at one point.
The good point.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's an excellent point. It's a string. We've seen it in guys like that's when nutritionists will come in. That's when guys that want to contribute to the conditioning. We've seen guys put weight on at the necessary positions. If he wants to, like, you know what I mean, we'll see, you know what I'm saying? But I will say, like, just along with physically, mentally, we'll see how his vision gets. We'll see how he sees the floor, if he can see the floor. I like him working with Pop. I like Pop working with young players.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting. So that's all I
I
want to
also
say
saw I
about that.
also
I
saw
go
like a
question that.
rumor. I also saw rumors saying that they think about bringing Pop back for like on like a 3-year deal or something like that.
Mm.
So
I
I
wouldn't
can't see
let him
him
Pop,
doing
nothing.
that though.
He's the perfect coach to coach your young
Pop,
talent. I mean,
he love the clipboard.
I want nothing more for Wemby to learn the greatest coach of all time. I think he's better than Phil Jackson, just like the strength that he's built his teams. He's
yeah.
drafted.
Colin, I want
I think
to listen. We can have that's a whole nother debate topic too. All right?
Hey,
but to keep it short, I do agree with you though.
right, all right, because
I feel
that's
like he
just
is
my
the GOAT.
thought. Yeah, so with that homegrown type of guys, so I feel like this perfect for the Spurs. Look, big man to big man. Now you got another generational big man. Can't get better than that. All right, now this is where we really get interested in that, man. There's been a seesaw battle between Miller and Scoot Henderson, the best point guard in the past probably 10 years, maybe. So, who are you taking? I'm going to start with Lodge first. Lodge, who are you taking if you're the Charlotte Hornets, man? MJ, not the GM no more. So, you don't got to worry about him just overshadowing whatever you decide to just say, all right, I want this guy. Right? You don't got to worry about that.
So since I'm gonna give you 2 inches because you brought up Jordan. Now I guarantee you, if Jordan was still there, Brandon Miller would have probably got guaranteed a selection at 2 already.
Yeah.
Probably like a month and a
Yeah.
half ago.
Yeah.
Now that he's gone, I am very, very well. One, I kind of made this draft to make kind of like the best case scenario for the draft night in general. So I got the Hornets drafting Scoot, and yes, it has something to do with the Hornets, but it also has something to do with the surrounding picks after that. But
Yeah.
as far as the Hornets and Scoot, me and Kyrie, and I believe Colin was in part of that conversation as well, because talking about LaMelo and Scoot playing together. And honestly,
We didn't talk about that.
I think it can work. I honestly think it can work, especially if one. I don't know how to explain it solely, but I feel like if as long as they get their complementary players, which one I feel like is Miles Bridges, if Miles Bridges is able to come back to the Charlotte Hornets, I feel like they need a Brandon Miller and another maybe possible dynamic guard to get rid of Terry Rozier and I forget their other guard. Might
like
be
James
like
Bouknight.
Theo Maledon right now.
Yeah. Book night.
Theo and
Book
Book Knight. Yeah. So I feel like having that dynamic backcourt of LaMelo and Scoot with a possible re-emergence or re-addition of Miles Bridges, I feel like that'll be a good place to start off at. Now, as far as LaMelo losing sight or Scoot taking over his shine, honestly, if it comes down to it, you can just trade LaMelo. I honestly feel like his trade stock has not diminished whatsoever. I still feel like his value is still high. It's just a matter of him not having to be able to twist his ankle in random moments. So
whoa! You got him down for trading LaMelo already?
no, I'm
That's
saying no.
bold.
I said whether they work or not. I feel like
Oh, got you. Okay.
they would be more inclined to keep Scoot number one because that's another 2-3 years on another extension contract that you have to worry about. So I do feel like it's a nice security way to either see where LaMelo's mental is at. So one, if you draft him, LaMelo doesn't become a hole and becomes an attitude problem. Instead, just buying into it and trying to figure out if that can work.
Right.
And to me, I feel like that'll be the best bet. One for the Charlotte Hornets because I feel like even with LaMelo Ball, their viewing and their notoriety, it really isn't enough considering they're a bad team. So if you look at teams like the Houston Rockets, they're horrible. If you sit down and watch them, they're literally like an enjoyable team to watch. So they at least need that type of environment in the Charlotte Hornets instead of just a bunch of mockery of just Jordan loved UNC players and just looking horrible.
Well, I mean, Charlie did have a buzz when Miles Bridges had his career year, so it was a point in time.
And then that was it.
What happened, bro? They got knocked out in the play-in for the second year in a row. Like, they keep like just hitting like they got like a cap. They're capped. That's like the thing.
Wait, Lodge. I mean, so Johnny. So I'm gonna swing it to Kyrie first. Then I'm gonna let you go ahead, Johnny. So who are you, the Charlotte Hornets? Who are you taking, man?
So I gotta agree. I'm going with Scoot. Again, kind of back to like the conversation we were talking about before. I said personally, it's something I gotta see happen first to like really get like an understanding of it. But Lives kind of did bring like a new perspective to me where when we're talking about like the fit between Scoot Henderson and LaMelo Ball, whether or not LaMelo Ball will be happy with having the ball in his hands left. We theorized that we talked about him becoming more of a spot up shooter, more of like a trailer in transition, not having many opportunities to go 1-on-1 and create a three off the dribble or get a step back, because he's gonna have to share the ball with Scoot, and like Lars said, you gotta see whether or not he buys into that and he's willing to do that. Whereas if you draft a Brandon Miller, you know for a fact Brandon Miller, he's not the type of guy that's going to take the ball out of the hands of a ball handler like LaMelo Ball did. That's not even really his game. And two, he's best as a shooter. He's best in catch and shoot situations and coming off the screens and that type of stuff. So when you're talking about a Scoot, you're talking about a guy who is super physical, like 6'3". I heard at the Charlotte Hornets workout, he actually measured in at 6'4". I don't know how true that is.
Hey, every inch matters, man.
They probably tried to gas.
I think they tried gas, kind of like they
did. They've been doing that for decades.
Hey, he's 8.
Yeah, they tried to say Sharif Cooper was like 6'4".
Well, no, that one was just OD because that was just like now that's crazy. That would have been crazy.
But either way, how he's built, whether it be 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", how he's built with them long arms and an NBA like ready body from day one.
Oh, he's like a running back.
He's gonna have the ball in his hands and he's gonna have a lot of free range to create and figure out what his niche is. It's definitely gonna be in the pick and roll, getting downhill and getting to the rim, taking contact. I think some shots in the midi, not so much as 3-pointers starting off, but he's gonna have free range to do what he wants to a certain extent.
Not to cut you off, Ree. But do you guys remember when Dallas had drafted Luka and they still had Dennis Smith and they played for like a good 20 games? I can see it being very similar to that, where if LaMelo has the ball in his hands, Scoot is going to be a Steph Curry like type of guy that's not going to be on the 3-point line, but he's going to be roaming to find an opening to the lane to where LaMelo can lob him, get him a cutter, and even if he gets a shot that opens up for another shooter. I feel like honestly they can literally change. They can make some type of their own type of offense with them too if they really try. Very similar to again the Warriors, but take away the 3-point aspect of their two main players until Scoot has the ability to at least get a knockdown, spot up a little 3-pointer. But I honestly, like I said, the Luka and Dennis Smith thing, I can see it being similar to that, but we just need a better sample size. I feel like them getting rid of Dennis Smith Jr. was too early. I feel like that their sample size was too small for them to just give in and just Drive Frank. What was that for? Frank and then stops, bro.
Yeah, Frank. Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
But
Well, I'm still not trading that now.
yeah, but I see what you're saying, Lies, and you're right. They would kind of have their own like unique style of offense where they can kind of work from the outside in, I guess. Because you got to think they got lob threats and Miles Bridges if he comes back, and Mark Williams on that back roaming around the
You
wing.
got PJ that can stretch the floor. You got Gordon Hayward
That
if he stays.
and PJ can take the ball out of the short roll, hit a nice little midi roll to the rim. They got a lot of nice targets between the two of them where when they're not in modes to look for their own bucket, they're going to be able to get other guys involved too, which like eventually leads to winning and making winning plays because it's going to take more than just them two. Like a guy like Miles is going to have to step up and make up for the season he missed this past year, and Mark Williams we're going to have to see an improvement in, and Gordon Hayward's going to stay steady. So just for that, like Lodge said, I kind of explain, help me break down. I think with LaMelo and Scoot, it gives them more of a unique type of offense and a unique way of playing their two guard lineup or their backcourt.
It
And with the
also
pieces around
automatically,
them, I really think it works well.
to me, it
All
makes their
right.
bench better too because you can run either or with the bench squad for a few minutes.
Okay, that's
And
fair.
you literally have two premier point guards that can literally rotate and play with the bench squad, or random players need to fill in to get going. I feel like they have so many more. I feel like if they pick Brandon Miller, they have not that many options on their hands. To me, when you get Brandon Miller, he has to be better than Miles Bridges off rip, and I don't see that happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Miles Bridges was barely a lottery pick when he was
Mm-hmm.
drafted,
He
even
was
though he
the
was a lottery
12th
talent.
pick. Yeah, the 12th pick. So
So,
you drafting Brandon Miller at 3. He's got to be better than the 12th pick in the draft.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, and from me personally, from what I see, I do not see that whatsoever. I don't.
Well, hold on to that thought because we're gonna dive into him pretty soon. Before we do that, though, Johnny, give me your take. So far, School's got the 2-0 lead right now. Uh, who are you rocking with? They're the Hornets. They're the GM
I'm gonna
now.
make it. I'm gonna make it 3-0 with Scoot for the same
Hmm.
reasons. But my personal reason is he don't fit with Portland just for those same reasons. Like with the type of the off ball player that he is and the type of on ball player that he is with the pick and roll situations and not so much at the 3-point line. God knows he shot like what? I think he shot like 40 for like 51 and all the threes he shot like this past season and then seasons that he played before. So not at the 3-point line, but as far as like in the paint, getting to the rim, athleticism, I think for that play style, it fits better with a player like LaMelo than it will with a player like Dame or even the Anthony Simmons or whoever he will come off the bench with. I feel like he'll fit better with Charlotte. Like you guys said, he has he'll have more free range. Um, uh, I just don't. It's honestly, I'm not gonna say is overall not what Charlotte was looking for, but I know they wish they could have found something better. It kind of almost makes you wanna risk it for Brandon Miller, maybe because of Scoop being maybe 6'3" or 6'4". Brandon Miller having posting, being bigger in size and at the same time being a better shooter overall. But I mean, if you're gonna go guard as a backup with Melo, I guess you want to put Scoot. I guess you want to bring Scoot off the bench, right? And
All
I
right,
guess
yes, sir.
for that situation, I guess I would have to go with Scoot just based off the simple fact that for the other draft picks surrounding it, I don't think like for that situation anybody else would fit better than that.
All right. That's so far. School is a unanimous decision for number 2. Like I said, I think. I mean, we've seen a lot of backcourt guards. Usually, they were both undersized to a certain extent. So this would be a different kind of experience. A 6'7" guard and a 6'3", 6'2" guard. I think they're both talented enough to make it happen. So let's just wait and see what Hornets can do. I think the Hornets might shock us, man. I think they might just, they might do something shocking. I don't know. But with that, we going to Portland, Oregon, man. A lot of rumors surrounding that one. We don't know if Zion's going there. We don't know. Dame's like the tweet saying he wanted Zion over there. I don't know what you're expecting out of Zion.
Dame don't want to win.
Yeah,
Acting
he's
for
so he
nah,
gets on my
bro.
nerves, yo. He
He's
gets
Uh,
on my
losing
nerves.
it, bro.
he
You see,
said
You
they
see, Bradley Bill finally gave in. I
nah,
don't know what
don't do that.
he's
They
trying to wait
can't.
out for.
Listen, Chris can't stand
Here
that,
we
man.
go.
Can't do nothing about it. But listen, I'm Kyrie. I'm gonna swing it to you, then swing it to Lodge. Listen, Portland's even talking about Dame is more favored in shopping his pick rather than them
Uh-huh.
drafting it. So
They know
at
that.
this time, if you were to make a selection, who are you going to rock with? And if not, you're trading. What type of trade are you looking for with the third pick? And you're Portland.
So if I'm Portland away, I think they're going into this. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I think they do draft Brandon Miller simply because they're I think they really want to shoot in this draft. And as much smoke screen is being thrown out there as Brandon Miller up until today, like this morning, being like the favorite, like the head on favorite to be like number 2 pick.
Right.
Like Scoot since today's been getting like a lot of like steam for that. But at the same time, I think like despite the smoke screen, I think Portland really wanted Scoot, and they really like seeing him as being the next guy to hand the keys over
Yo,
to
if
after
they
him.
draft Scoot, you got to move
And
in. Got to.
and I can honestly see like you said, Colin, a bunch of like trade situations here where you never know. Maybe they convince the Hornets to to swap picks, and they get Scoot and like whether the Hornets want Brandon Miller or a Thompson twin, you
That's
never
different.
know.
Right.
Like I could definitely see that happening, or I could see Portland drafting Brandon Miller or a Thompson twin. I'm leaning towards more towards Brandon Miller here because if they don't find a trade partner, I think he fits in best.
Okay.
But I think he can definitely be traded for like a bigger piece, like a maybe like a Zach LaVine, who I hear is
Okay.
like in a lot of trade talks. I'm not saying that's like the most ideal thing for them, but Zach LaVine's been in a lot of trade talks, and I hear like I've been hearing that Chicago wants to move up to the first round as well.
He
Um,
Chicago
can
don't have a bad
He can slide in New York if he want to.
so I definitely I'm leaning.
pick.
My gut is telling me Portland uses this to draft Brandon Miller and trade for another premier player because these like past few weeks it's been seeming more and more like Dame wants to stay and they want them to build something around him. They even were talking about Anthony Thomas being up for sale, which is weird to me. I feel like he's a core piece of
I
this
heard
team.
that. Yes, I did.
He's a core
And
he's
that's
a true core
I
actually
don't know
piece.
what.
yep.
Listen, man, Portland
So
riding till the wheels fall off.
yeah, so I think they go Brandon right here, but I honestly think they traded for a more established talent in the league.
Oh, all right, man, Kyrie. I'm hearing your analysis, man. I don't know what's going on with Portland. Very confusing on their end. Lodge. Just try to make sense of some of this confusion before I swing it to Johnny to take it away.
So I actually kind of wanted to start off with a question for the
Mm.
for the for the for the for the for the floor.
All right.
So if you're Portland, right, and you're going into this thinking you're about to trade this pick, wouldn't you just draft a men? Is like a men not the more tradable prospect than Brandon
That's what
Miller?
I would think. That's what I would think.
Mm.
I would think he's a more tradable prospect, yeah. But the only reason I had them getting Brandon was, like I said, because if they don't find a partner for him, or they don't have something they like for the third pick, he fits in better.
He do, which
See,
is why I have him third. But when you were talking, and then when I started hearing trade, I'm just like, who's really
You're right
taking
though.
Brandon Miller
He
and giving up
definitely
Zach LaVine? Like I'd rather just
Well,
like
well, well, well. Then this is my question. And feel free to hop in. So, if the Portland draft Brandon Miller, is he better than every forward on the roster? So, is he better than Cameron,
no,
Matisse,
no, no,
Reddish,
no, 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 no,
Amen?
no. I don't care. All right, let me tell you something. When we talk about Cam Reddish, no, he's
No.
not. No, I don't care what type of sample size you need. Like I said, bro, he has to come in averaging damn near 18 a game, bro. I
he'll
don't.
he'll, pro- he'll probably
Can't.
come in doing it. He'll probably come in putting up the same exact thing Cam Reddish put in actually.
So
Cam
that's
Reddish
what
was
you
putting up
taking.
like 10 a game,
I
something
was
like
gonna
that.
say, don't sell this kid short too much.
Okay, Johnny.
Brent, bro. All right. Now, like I said, he just better be Paul George light, bro. I'm telling you, he just better be
Well,
that.
listen. The fact I'm hearing a lot of, not too many people are high on Brandon Miller, huh?
Bro,
He
because
the
I
third.
don't
It's
see it.
crazy.
I just
Because a
don't see
couple
it.
of months back, he was the chosen, like outside of Victor Wembanyama, he was like top 3 chosen. So, it was
Honestly,
the guy.
I think you know what helps him, bro.
But wait, hold on, like, but when you put it in this perspective though, drop him in last year's draft because last year's draft around this time he would have been 19 and a half, a true freshman. Put him in last year's draft. Where is he going?
Is he top 10? Okay, it's a fair point. Is he top?
Where's he going? We went through this before. Like we went through this before.
I gotta double check
like
that
9,
top 10.
8, 9.
But I think he might slide in at number 10. I gotta double check that top 10. He might slide in at 9 to 10. He's a lottery level talent. I will say that.
Jumping from 10 to 3 is crazy.
I don't have
that is crazy.
Yeah, I don't have that is crazy.
Talent. We're not saying he's not a lottery level talent. In this draft, he's a top 3 talent. In last year's draft,
he wouldn't even be top 3.
He's a top 10, the top, just a flat out lottery talent.
That's a great measuring.
I think what also helped his draft stock is the fact that Alabama football program was top 3 in the college the whole season.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why don't because listen, we can go back to why you think he got brushed off.
So that helped out their basketball program. How far did Denver go last year in basketball, men's basketball?
Well, yeah, but ask Brandon Miller that. We can talk about it.
Hey, whoa. Listen, but I will say this.
Bro,
I feel like
Miles taking that squad to the Elite 8 in college, bro. I don't
he put up pretty much
Miles
the same numbers.
Okay.
Miles
no, you know what?
Put up the same numbers Brandon Miller did.
You know what? And you know what the scariest thing to me is, I try not to put too much stock in the March Madness because it's one game eliminations. So it's only so much you can do in your matchup. But man, it was just kind of discouraging seeing when the brightest lights was on.
But at the same time, Colin, with it being one and done, with it being a win or go home situation, don't you expect to see the killer come out? Like, don't you expect to see?
I know, but then you don't want to discredit the season, the SEC tournament. He played well. That was also the
how you think Davion Mitchell and Jared Butler got their draft stock, bro? Off the tourney, that straight elimination game, trench work. Once they seen Davion and Jared just destroy them Gonzaga boys, they was like, oh yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Zags.
Hey,
poor Zags.
Listen, man. What was that? All right, lads. I'm gonna swing it to Johnny. Then we move on to Houston, man. Go ahead, Johnny.
I'm not yeah, bro. I see Portland trading as well. I agree, but if they don't trade, yeah, I agree. Brandon Miller's the best situation for them. Like, and I need, like, not even just on the political standpoint, just because of, first of all, like, he's like what Kyrie said, he's a better fit overall if they're not going to trade the pick. If they're going to keep the pick and they're going to draft, I will go Brandon Miller. And for like I said before with Scoot, he fits better with Charlotte. I feel like Brandon Miller fits better with the Blazers because he's a forward that can guard multiple positions. He won't be as ball dominant. I think he can work. I think he'll work well if Anthony Simon stays. I'm not sure about that, but I think he'll be able to work well with the supporting cast of the Blazers. He shot 38% from 3 in college, like 18 points per game, 17 points per game, I believe. He's got 3-level scoring ability. He's multiple. He's very versatile defensively. 6'9". He's gonna get highlights. He can. He's gonna get highlights and fast breaks. He can jump above there. He can jump out the gym. I will say, consistency in shooting. His touch can probably get a little bit better, but he's 20. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the Blazers love.
He is 20
they
though.
like
That's what he
potential.
told me up.
Hold on. I got a quick question. I got a quick question.
Brandon's 20 years old.
So the way Johnny just broke him down, bro, sounded like MPJ before the injury. Bro, I swear to
Johnny
God.
That's what Johnny was giving me that vision. I'm like,
if you don't score more than 15, 16 points, bro, I don't want to hear a thing.
That's fine. You know what? That's fair. And honestly, and that's why I said don't sell this kid short. Because when you said that before, I'm like, yo, I ain't want to cut you off, but in my head, I'm like, that's doable.
You know what?
Compared to what if he shoots,
I don't see it.
Why not? Based off of him or based off of the team he's going to?
For one, to me, honestly, I feel like his size is gas for one. His defense is gas for damn sure. I'm telling you right
So
now,
he's
if he
not.
takes his ass, I'm telling you right now, if he takes his ass to Portland, Cam Reddish and Shaden Sharp are going to have him on a nebulizer. I swear to God. Shaden Sharp is giving him straight work.
Wait, Lon, get the camera a little bit up to your face, man. I can't
Oh
see the
my
face.
God.
We
No,
messing
he
up.
ain't get that.
bro.
No, he's clear. We can see him clear. He's speaking.
He's not uber. To me, he's not really off the cover of the book athletic to me. He's just
Lon's
not.
probably the one person that has such
Bro
dislike for
he
Brandon
don't
He
Miller.
plays above. He
And on,
plays
and on
above.
top
it's
of
not
that,
even
He plays
it's not
above
even
Brown.
this.
He had like.
and on top of that, yo, his handles don't
Bro,
get brought up for a reason.
no, he can't
Handles don't
create.
get
He
brought
really
up for a
can't create
reason,
for
bro.
himself. So
Like,
again, you basically, to me, he'll end up literally how MPJ is now. MPJ coming into the league was not supposed to be the player he was now. He's gonna be literally
MPJ
sitting in
is
the
supposed to
corner.
be. Yeah, MPJ was
He's gonna be
actually
sitting
the
in the
three
corner
level
shooting
scorer.
threes.
The
Still
Nuggets have made him, have moved him to that point.
getting about by that theory, getting about 5 boards a game too, with those threes.
Okay,
And an underrated
he's
defender was
6'9". He should be getting more than 5 boards a
MPJ
game.
ended it, and
6'9".
he's got the defensive potential that MPJ got because he
Yeah,
showed that he can guard up a little bit.
potential.
Ain't
Keyword
that what the
potential,
draft
Johnny.
is? That's
That
all the
is
draft
true.
is, bro. Wemby
It
could
is.
be a flop. God
That
Bro.
forbid.
is
You know
true.
what I'm saying? That's
Okay,
I think the
potential.
potential. I think you putting a little too much into the
I'm
potential
just
because
saying.
there was not
Just
one time I watched Brandon Miller. I'm like, bro, strapping right now. He playing good D.
No,
Like, no, go out there
that's
to
not
get
true.
buckets.
That's not true, Lodge. It's
Go
been a
out there
couple
to
and
get
games.
buckets.
there
it was
also
very,
wasn't a game.
it
There
was
also
very
wasn't a game.
streaky. Like his
And there,
his
oh,
defensive moments is very streaky, bro.
and
It
there,
was
and
very
there wasn't
streaky.
and there wasn't a game that I didn't think that he couldn't get about 14 in the league, or per 14 per in the league.
Bro, but you're getting
He's
drafted
40. He's
number
almost
2 or
40%.
3. You're getting drafted number 2 or 3 though, bro. That's my whole
You
point.
said what you want from him? 16 points at least minimum.
Bro,
At least if you're the third pick,
That's
if you're in the
doable.
top
He
3,
can't do. He
if
can't
you're
do
in the top
14.
3.
I think he can get that. 14
I'm gonna be
is
honest with
doable.
you. So
Yo, wait, hold on. I'm gonna put it this way. Melo
It's
was
not, but
third
not.
pick.
He
Hold
can
on.
shoot,
I'm gonna
bro.
put
That
it this way.
saves you a lot.
Wait, hold on, Johnny.
Melo
Hold on.
my man Melo was third pick. It should have been second because of Darko, but that's
Well,
regardless
yeah.
of the fact he was third pick. Put up 20 and damn near 10 a game and won a college championship. Brandon Miller's about to be third pick and putting up 18 and 8, shooting like almost 40% from the field. Inefficiently, he's got a nice 3-point percentage. But
Sure do.
no, like 220 wins that he didn't really help in. Like the resumes don't stack up. Like, so when you're talking about I can see him giving me a nice 14 a game in the league, or his defense is okay. It might be able to translate to the league. If not,
you
passing
drafted
might
him
be.
number
Yeah,
3
he
for
can get.
all that.
I'm not
But,
crazy.
but I will say this: some rookies.
Between 14
Wait,
and
hold on,
16
Johnny.
per
Hold on.
game isn't great.
But I'm saying my thing with him, what I'm saying
Hold on,
is
Johnny.
outside of his jump shot and outside of his 3-pointer, like like his range, like ability, I don't see anything else in his game being a sure thing.
Yeah,
Well,
he don't got.
I
I
will.
said, yeah, he can't. Yeah, he got it. He needs to work on his touch. I said that. He sucks. He's not that bad in the paint, but he needs to work on his touch. 6'9", he should have been getting. He shouldn't be getting by people way better. I will say that much. But these are things that I feel like he could work on. But it's like if they don't trade that pick, Brandon Miller, as far as that fit, they not crazy for it.
Okay. That's fair, Johnny. Fair assessment. But you know what, Johnny? I'm going to keep the spotlight on you because we're going to move to Houston now. We're going to go to Houston with the 4th pick in the draft. And they got a lot of options themselves, but I think the biggest concern for them, maybe not the biggest concern, they should draft the point guard. Me and Kyrie been going back and forth about whether KPJ's a point guard or not. I think it's about time we should, he's not a point guard.
Wait, I've been saying for the longest he's not.
He's not a point guard.
We're not about to be slandering Guy.
You know I mess with KDJ, but he's not a point guard,
bro. But he was getting coached by Steven Silas or whatever his name was.
wait. Okay.
Bro, he pulled up, bro. The day Ime signed, bro, that man was the first one there, bro. I guarantee you.
He was the only one there. He was the only one there.
But that says something, though.
But that just goes to. But that just goes to show their mindset.
I'm just
he committed, though.
His play style for KPJ to be the best KPJ is not at point guard, and we know
that's true, though. That
If he
is
knows
Nah,
it.
but honestly, bro, they
And I
don't have
can
a
admit
choice
that.
right now. They don't have a choice.
No, they do. And you know what, Lodge, I love how you made that great transition. They do. They actually got a nice young man from OTE. His name is
I
Amin
don't see him
Thompson,
being
man.
like some 6'7"
6'7".
Rondo bull, bro. I don't see him being 6'7" Rondo for them, bro. Like I don't.
What's wrong with a 6'7"? And then the jump shot's not horrible. It's actually pretty decent. You could
You
work
gonna
with
put
it.
him off the bench?
Hey, whoa,
We ain't gonna go that
whoa.
far now.
That
There you go.
jumper is
Like we
all
said,
but
potential,
textbook.
right? Like we said,
I've
Both of them.
seen worse. I've
Yeah.
seen worse jump
No,
shots.
no. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Ball Brothers joints is better. You know why? Because them Jones was going in. They was going in. Bro, I seen a clip of they release each one. No, that's a no-no, bro. That gotta go. That regular guy hands, all that, bro. Like no.
All right, we gonna listen, but I feel like he fits the Rockets. I think he
Bro,
fits the Rockets.
he gonna have. Listen,
So you have a KPJ come off the bench or play the three? Like what? Like what?
So
Like
this
bro,
is
there's
so
no
so
way in
so
hell
so
he comes off the bench.
no.
now this is the issue the Rockets have. Now I think Ime is the type of coach that he could balance the egos and balance the personality. So if anyone does happen to feel a little bit discomfort, I think he's because hold on.
No, I just wanted to jump. I just wanted to bring in a quick point
Oh, go ahead.
because he did coach Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown all on the same line.
Yeah, that is true. That's a fair point. So I feel like he's the type of coach. I think he's perfect in handling the personalities of it. Now, obviously, he's a point guard coming in the draft. He's not going to start. I mean, unless he just kills it from the workouts, from the time he get drafted, the preseason and training camp, and he just absolutely blows the staff mind. That's a whole different ballgame. But he'll more than likely not start. Probably for about maybe 30 games into the season, maybe. Probably even more.
Bro might start off, Rip. Bro might start off.
He might. It depends on what Ime. I've never seen him coach a very young team clearly in the rebuilding. He had his hands full. He had a nice group with the Celtics. They was already mid, 20s, already established themselves mid All-Stars. Not mid All-Stars. So I think with this team, the Rockets got Sagoon, something the Celtics don't have. They'll probably have the point guard of the future for getting Amin Thompson. And then you got Jalen Green supposed to be your next franchise superstar. Him and Sagoon could be the next, big stars for the Jabari Smith. I don't really know about him. I don't know about Jabari Smith, Kyrie. How you feel about
My
him?
client means to say Alfred Sengun. That's my client talking. You know what I'm saying?
Alvin Sengun, excuse me. Sengun.
That's
I
not how you say
apologize
his
for
name, bro.
misspeaking.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, it isn't.
It is?
No, it isn't.
That's how you
What?
say it. Wait, it is?
It's not. Yes, it's
Sengun? I
Sengun.
apologize.
They were saying
Sengun. I
Sengun all this past 2 weeks on ESPN, bro. It's not Sengun.
Sengun.
Yo,
All
all
right.
these I've been here.
Apologize, man.
I've been here Sengun or Sengun.
They were calling him Sengun the whole. They were calling him Sengun the whole season. But once the
That's
season was over,
crazy.
bro, all of a sudden they just started saying it differently. But he must have said something
Sengun.
to somebody.
No, yeah, he must have said something.
people
He
know his
probably,
name,
he had to say something. He had to be like, yo, that's not how you say my name. So that's how I had to do it. But what's your thought? So, Johnny, I'm going to swing it back to you, but I want to ask Kyrie this. What's your thoughts on Jabari Smith? I feel like he's like the guy on the talented crew, but he is just like, like he's just there.
They need to find a clear purpose and role for him alongside
Right.
Alfred. And whether that's like an outside shooter, whether that's like as a cutter or like a pick and roller, I think he's got the versatility to do like plenty of things. But
better turn
I
into
think,
Rashard Lewis.
but no, where he'll separate himself from that is, and if he keeps improving on it, and if he just keeps growing in this area on the defensive end where he's so active and he's so active around the rim and he's so quick on the perimeter, he's just gotta use that as a part to stick out. And honestly, it should be a lot easier because you got a guy like Tari Easton who this past season shown to be a very, very strong perimeter defender, literally ripping the ball out of guys' hands.
Rockets look like geniuses for drafting them.
Exactly. So he's got a lot of guys around him that he can learn from, and at the same time they can learn from him, like iron sharpen iron. but at the same time, he's got something different. Like I guess physically, he's got some things Tari Eason doesn't have as far as length.
Right, the length.
That jump shot he has as far as skill set. Like he has certain things Tari Eason that doesn't have, where that could take him farther places than may take Tari Eason. You know. So I think not to say so much as like comparing them to or making the two compete against each other. I'm just saying
they kind of were at one point.
He has to find a way to stick out because you got a guy like Sengun who's found his way to stick out.
Right.
You got
he definitely did.
You got a guy like Jalen Green where whether you want to say he sticks out or not, but you know he's a bona fide scorer and he has that athleticism that's going to get him the highlights regardless.
He got the star power. He got to eat the next star.
Exactly. So all these guys around him kind of found their niche already. Where you got to play to the strength. You got to start playing to the strengths of Jabari in certain areas that allows him to flourish. Because let him chuck a whole bunch of 3-pointers, let him chuck a whole bunch of off the dribble mid ranges. He shouldn't be doing that. Like that's not his game.
Right.
Like you kind of yo, this is what you can do right here. And then this is what we need you for right here, and you just grow it off of that. You just don't throw him out in the fire, let him shoot 15 jumpers a game. Like it just, but like you said, Colin, I think when he may come in, more of that discipline does come in, and he does find a way to kind of play more to his strength. So I think Jabari is a lot when you're talking.
Rig got a question. Rig, hold on. Rig got a question.
Yeah.
He better than Brandon Miller, right?
I had a feeling you was gonna bring it up too. I just know I had someone's gonna bring it up. I had a feeling.
Jabari, I'm thinking Jabari.
Wow, I know Jabari was the number 3 pick. So all right, listen, Johnny, let's bring it back to you. But I do want to say
he's going back to last. What was that? 3.
Or Johnny,
that's one out the other 2. Like I said, that's one out that 3. I said top 3 versus their top 3. You get one person. Other than that, this year's draft had the better first 2.
That's true. But wait, Johnny, I will say it's phenomenal. Wait, hold on, Lodge. Phenomenal analysis, Kyrie on Jabari. I just felt like he was just there to me. You know, I felt like, he was talented. He could be the next. He can't even be the next star on the Rockets. Now, Sengun, let me say how you say Seguin actually showed himself to be the second star. Probably code one, like tier 1, like 1A, 1B type. Maybe Jabari could fill in that second. But that was a phenomenal analysis on that. So, Johnny, I'm going to swing it to you.
Yes, sir.
Who you got with the first pick in the draft?
Real quick, let's get Sengun's name right. This man had over 15 double-doubles for the Rockets last year. Nobody notices this, but people gonna start pronouncing his name right. Probably in this upcoming season because I got the Rockets probably gonna get more TV time. So we'll probably get his.
Depending on who they get eventually.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm not laughing at what Johnny's saying. I'm just laughing at something in my head because the Rockets swear they got a poor man's De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis.
Hey, wait. Hold on.
They the King's Light, bro. They the King's Light.
Bro, that's like the bootleg version of that, bro. That's like the red box version of that.
Hey, but you know what? The bootleg sometimes go far. So, hey. So let's see.
Clear moments.
Had to shine defining moments. But Johnny, who are you taking with the 4th pick before I swing it to Kyrie?
I'm gonna put Mean in there, man. I can't. I don't see why not, man. He's a guard. He's a guard. 16 points per game, about 6 boards, 6 assists. He's an all-around player, young player that'll probably find. He'll probably find somewhere on the court based off of just athleticism, just based off of athleticism alone. The kid's not. He's not that. I'm not going to say he's a stud, but he's interesting. Me personally, Amin Thompson is interesting to me. In over 28 minutes, he would average 15, 16 points per game. But when he would in certain games, he had to be forced to play over 30 minutes. The brother averaged 20, 21 points per game. Only in games where he was playing over 30 minutes. So whatever that may have been, maybe it was injuries or maybe he was hot. They just kept riding with him. But games that he's played over 30 plus minutes, he's averaged more. So I feel like that leads me to believe that he has the potential to maybe step up in certain moments and be that role player or be that spark plug that a team might need in the middle of a game or something like that. I got him down for having those types of potentials. He'll be a little bit fun to watch. I feel like he's Like he could, he's jumping out the gym. Another crazy athlete. He was finishing 60% in the paint. He's a great finisher. I think he posted like a 20% assist percentage rating. Basically, I think which is good by those like sports science standards. But he could pass 6'7". He averaged like three, almost four steals a game, bro. That's a stat that surfaced out to me. He averaged like 3.7 steals per game. So like he's gonna find his way on the floor. He'll be a little bit fun to watch. His shooting touch can get better. Shot 22% from the 3-point line. I'm not expecting him to be a sniper, and he could pull for the 3-point from the free throws a little bit better, bro. Shot like almost 60% for the free throw line, but I guess you gotta factor in other things with that. But for somebody that was averaging 16 points per game, for him to shoot 50% for the free throw line, I think that's a major weakness that needs to be improved if he wants to stay on the floor. But overall, I'm in love with the way this guy approaches the game defensively. I'm in love with with his vision at such a young age. And bro, he's a heck of an athlete. He can jump out the gym and he can finish, bro. It'll be enough to get him on the floor. He'll be fun to watch. He's interesting.
I'm all for it. All right, Johnny. Kyrie, are you co-signing this? Do you agree with this decision to pick? Are you decision to pick?
It's hard not to, given off of means like pure talent. He definitely should deserve like to be a pick right here. But again, I just don't see the fit along with KPJ and Jalen Green in that backcourt. Yeah, he makes up for the defensive challenges and gives them another playmaker. Whether he'd be more efficient than KPJ or not, that remains to be seen. But I think the Rockets need to tackle kind of like a weakness area in a lineup, which is the wing position. Even though a man can play like a wing, I feel like he's at his best as a lead guard, as someone with his hands and orchestrating the offense and being in creating the offense. But so because of that,
you mean they needed a wing on? You think they're in need of a wing for offensive purposes?
Offensive purposes, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Because I have them getting Cam Whitmore out of Villanova, and Cam Whitmore is the perfect wing for them because simply he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective.
What point guard?
As a spot-up shooter, especially in the corner, he's very good. He's a pretty good knockdown shooter. He only shot about an average 34% from three, but like as a knockdown, like as a spot-up shooter, I believe in the touch. I like his form. And when as an athlete, he's really good at going baseline and catching the ball as he's cutting and getting the ball dumped off to him and just making it happen in the paint. Once he gets 2 feet in the paint, he's such an explosive athlete. He can go up with anybody and just finish around the rim. So playing with a guy like Alfred Sengun, as we have to call him now. I didn't know we had to call him that now, but playing with a guy like that who's going to see you. He's going to find you. And whether you're cutting, whether you're creeping in the back and transition, whatever, he's going to find you. And a guy like Cam Whitmore who can explode and who's fast and who can get to his spots would thrive well in a place like this. Jabari Smith or Target, whoever's going to be starting. Solid. I know Jabari at least is a solid passer. He's a guy that has pretty good vision. KPJ has good vision. He just has a lot of turnovers that kind of negates him as a playmaker, or in a lot of ways when you look in the box sheets, kind of negates him as a playmaker. But he has good vision and can make certain reads. So a guy like Cam Whitmore. Not saying he's not no point guard still. Not no point guard still. But at the same time,
come on, Live. You know the truth.
He don't need to be a point guard.
And eventually they're gonna have to trade him and find a real point guard, bro. It's just
well, that's why I'm saying. But why not draft a point guard? I hear your point. I understand it. I like Cam Whitmore. We'll talk about that in the next pick. But what don't you think the need for a point guard? Because you gotta think.
You need a point guard with experience.
They're not going to no playoff, man. Why not grow?
You gotta think. What point guard with experience is going to the Houston Rockets, bro?
Right. Who wants to go to Houston?
Give me one. Give me one.
James Harden's a possibility now.
That's Doug. He's staying in Philly. He's staying right in Philly. He's staying right in South Philly.
Please don't say that. Please don't say that.
But what point
that article came out. Bro,
I don't got
vet
anybody to say
experienced
it,
point
man.
guard is going to the Houston Rockets to sit there and build a bunch of
I mean,
bunch of kids for bread.
if they get traded there, if they get traded there, bro, what they gonna who's to say they don't? Who's to say?
But
Bro,
why
this is
not?
the same
Because it's
thing.
like
You act
you
like
got a
KPJ can't
you
get you
got
like
a
a mid-level
chance.
point guard.
Listen, you got a chance to actually build up a program with guys that actually build chemistry, whatever. Fought with like these guys know each other as well. They got some freshmen with each other, so you're not really worried about chemistry there.
Bro, and they won like a combined 40 games over 2 years. Like,
but listen, you're in rebuild. There's no expectations. It shouldn't even be an issue. And then a point guard
Bro, if
like
they
me.
win 40 games this season, that is an absolute freaking failure. There is no need for them to win 40 games. What do they need to win 40 games for?
They're not going nowhere.
They're gonna win 40 games and do what?
Y'all getting me wrong. Y'all getting what I'm saying mixed up. I'm not just saying KP, kind of like Lodge in our situation, the Knicks situation. I'll go straight to that. Julius Randle might be cool for right now, not in your eyes, but in most of New York fans' eyes, he might be cool for right now. He might get you wins right now, but long term, he has to get up out of there. He's not the answer. So
He's talking about
point guard long term is not the answer. And I'm saying I don't think Amen Thompson here would be the answer. I don't think he's going to be the changing point. I mean,
I'm with you with KPJ not going to be a long time. I figure that, but that's why you get someone like.
He's not a long time. He's not a long term decision at that position. You have him playing, which is the whole point of getting the men.
Or how about this, Kyrie?
I'm gonna be honest with you. You get it. So what? So look, put it this way: the best bet they trade for Fred VanVleet for KPJ. What is Freddie about to do in 3 or 4 years with the Houston Rockets?
Freddie's not going to do anything alone, but you keep building off that, bro. You keep growing a certain talent.
Nobody gives.
At the same time, he's not
coming
he's talking bridge.
Like,
yeah,
imagine they had a
players.
imagine they had a Markel Fultz like Orlando guy. Orlando got a good thing going with their core.
They about
to trade Markel, in my opinion. All these guys I'm seeing,
they're not wasting that money on bridge players. They're looking for bridge players. I see what you're saying, Calvin. Like basically, essentially bridge players.
That's the exact term, bridge players.
Would they waste that cap money on that? How much would a bridge player cost? Like an average bridge player? Like they're not going. They're not.
You might be able to get Markel cheaper than MPJ.
Yeah, because if they're going to do that, I'm not breaking my bank for a bridge player that I can put towards my team.
Bro, we can't be sitting there and talking like Markel really like he's gotten better. Bro ain't about to.
He has gotten better.
Bro.
I don't want to trash him that much.
But him gotten better made the Magic look better. Yeah, Paolo was a big part of that. He made the.
But they still gonna listen. But the way I've been seeing, they got the Magic. Got a lot of speculation. They might draft this kid from Arkansas, Anthony Black. That's been the weird, and I don't know why. They already so overstacked their guards. So I'm guessing they're gonna trade one of those guards.
Well, Kyrie kind of explained to me that why, and I kind of understand. But we'll get to that when that happens.
We'll get to that later. All right,
we've been on Houston for a while. Yeah.
Are you gonna miss the lies? Your fourth pick.
I got them drafting them men.
All right.
And it's honestly because I don't see where they can move on and get a better position at point guard. And they might as well just keep continuing to be young, bro. There's literally no way, shape, or form. But Houston's gonna make any type of turn, grabbing some vet piece and keep building. You got teams like OKC that's in a way better position than them right now. And I bet I'll go there before Houston.
Wait, Lodge, you know they got a point guard from Kentucky named Cason Wallace. Hey.
Bro, you're not drafting him at number 4, bro.
He's from Texas. You know
what does that even mean? He's not. Yeah.
Hey, hold on. And he plays some Johnny. Advocate for me, man. Come on. Advocate.
Bro, there's no advocating for Cason Wallace getting drafted 4th.
What? Yeah, I got him all. I got him on my list though. I got to do it.
All right. We're gonna go to the 5th pick. We're gonna go to the 5th pick.
I don't think a Kentucky player will reach a top 5 in a while, bro. So you might just
no, don't do that. Next year class crazy. We got 3 of them that's gonna be in the top 10. Don't disrespect us. Make that 4. 5. Rob Dillingham, please.
Oh, God.
Rob Dillingham, a lottery pick too. Crazy bucket getter. All right, let's get to the 5th pick. All right, Kyrie, we're gonna be stacked. Watch us because we're gonna be typing about it on our website. We're gonna be creating a lot of articles, doing the college rankings preseason, so be on the lookout for that. Definitely be on the lookout for the website. It'll be up soon. But that being said, we're going all the way to Detroit, man. The Detroit Pistons with the 5th pick in the draft. I'm gonna swing it to you, Kyrie. Who are you looking to draft with this?
Well, mine, I got him getting a men. And I think
Mm.
it's for them, especially like I said, I
But
think especially with
why?
bro in my mock draft with the people I got, that's the best available. What do you mean?
But
I get it.
Caden
So
Jaden.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Kyrie, because it's not crazy
And
though.
I
I
explained
get
this
it.
before, but I'll go ahead and do it again.
Ah,
One, having a man there allows Jaden Ivey to move to a true two position. He's played a lot of one this season. And you've seen a lot. He had some good games playmaker wise, but there's a lot of games you've seen the growing pains. You see that where he wasn't like the most comfortable at. You bringing in the men there. One, he's already a better perimeter defender than Jaden. He's already a better perimeter defender than Cade. That's something he can help and kind of mask up. You have somebody since he's not able to shoot. You have Cade and Jaden Ivey, who I project their outside shooting being better or like continuing to get better. That's something they can use to mask up for immense like weakness. So it's kind of like they trade off in that sense. So like I was saying, you have a men play the one. You got Jaden Ivey go back to his main spot at the two, and Cade at the three.
okay.
Either way, with they all three of them can still play with the ball in their hands. They can still bring the ball up because Jaden Ivey and Men Thompson are great off the ball. They're great backdoor cutters. They're great at going up for lobs. Like Cade Cunningham is still a good enough passer to catch those guys and to find those guys. Same
Okay.
thing. Jaden Ivey has some secondary playmaker abilities out of that pick and roll. I can see a pick and roll happening with him and B Stu and men coming down the baseline for a lob or for a cut. Feel me?
That's
Like
it.
so, one all three of those guys having the ability to play make, having good vision, and just having that length on the floor. Because I'm not saying Jaden and Cade are bad defenders, but they definitely have to improve, especially as one-on-one defenders. I think Amen's already are he out of the three, he'll definitely be the best defender out of that bunch. And again, it'll all balance out, especially with him not having that jump shot. And when you're talking about big men, I mentioned Isaiah Stewart. I think that me and Elijah is talking about. I think they're going to start Jalen Durant over James Wiseman next season, which is the smart thing because he's the stronger defender and he's that backline help who can get you rebounds or start the break with a man in Cade. Who can block shots and ignite an offense. So
That's it.
I just think with that nucleus of guys, and I think I could definitely see a men going forward at Houston. Like, but at the same time, I think it's very realistic. They see Cam as a premier wing option, somebody that can continue to get better with them. And if that's the case, men here at number 5, bro, it'd be very scary because just the way I broke down all three of those guys, um, kind of can mesh together, can cover for each other's weaknesses. And you got a Monty Brown who coming, who's been around the block, who's coached to Chris Paul, who just this past season coached to Kevin Durant, coached to Devin Booker.
Right.
He's coached some stars. He's gotten some places. He definitely
Okay.
can teach these guys a few things and a few things of playing as together as growing stars and making it all work out and having them play to their strengths. So I got a men going here at 5, and I think that might be one of the better draft picks of this draft. To be honest with you guys.
Okay, fair analysis. I was a little bit in disagreement in the beginning, but you definitely slowly turned me over to the fan of this. I'm actually hoping to actually kind of see this now, actually. So that was definitely a good pick. I'm gonna swing it to Johnny, then you go ahead, Lodge, and then we'll go on to the next. Go ahead, Johnny. Give me your thoughts on who you would choose with the sixth pick of the draft. I mean, excuse me,
With the
the
fifth
fifth pick.
pick,
Yeah, fifth
yeah,
pick
with
in the
Detroit.
draft. You're the best.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
not mad. I'm not mad at the pick with when I mean what I meant because I was actually shifting between that 4 and 5. And Kyrie had mentioned Cam Whitmore earlier and how he would have had put him with Houston for that wing spot. I think that would be better served with Detroit, but yet and still I feel like Asura Thompson might get picked with the Pistons. And that guard slash forward that can play both positions. That was averaging 7 rebounds in the G League and about 16 points per game. I like Asura Thompson, that to possibly go to Detroit. And just based off of not just based off of his stats. I like what I covered when I was looking at him with the G League. He was average on a good day. He was putting up out. He had a couple of 18-point games, a couple of near 20-point games. He's a great athlete. He's very good, specifically on the offensive rebound. Out of those 7 boards, I think he would average about like 3 of them are offensive. So his motor's crazy. He can guard about 3 positions out of 5. 4 blocks per game, 3 steals per game, and I'm talking like those numbers stood out to me. 4 blocks and 3 steals per game. I don't even care about him not being able to shoot. 23% from the 3 point line. I mean from about 3 point percentage, but I ain't really worried about that. When it comes to everything else that he does, he's an athlete. His motor's crazy. He can guard about 3 out of 5 positions. He's a defensive stud, and he can score the ball a little bit. And on top of that, him playing the guard in the forward spot, I think that as a fit would serve Detroit a little bit better. I think Cam Whitmore, who I was really arguing with myself a bit about putting him at that 5th spot, I think Asura can play the guard a little bit better as far as defensively than Cam Whitmore would be able to, which is what made me inch him a little bit more higher up with Detroit. So
That's
I like
fair.
Asura Thompson.
That's a fair point. All right, Johnny. All right, I saw Thomas. You got Amin Thomas. All right, so you got twin and twin. So Elijah, who are you? Which twin are you going with? Are you going with Amin? Or are you going with? You got
I'm
your
jacking
own.
the history. I think wouldn't if the way I have it, I think this will be what the highest 2 twins been picked back to back, haven't it? Wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, that's the Morris twins.
yeah.
Yep.
I have them. I
Oh,
have them getting a star. Honestly, because strictly, kind of similar to what Johnny and Reeve were talking about. But Reeve's point was based off Cam Whip. No, who was it for? It was for
I
Amin,
had
right?
men. I had a men going to.
You had a men going there.
It
So
was for a
basically,
man, for a man.
in my eyes, I feel like one Cade Cunningham. I have a lot of that'll be a whole nother conversation. Reeve probably doesn't want to hear that right now. But I just feel like to me, he's most comfortable being a floor general. To be honest with you.
Okay.
Him being off ball, I feel like he just looks not lost, but he doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't seem like he's involved or anything. So I feel like having Cade Cunningham and Asar Thompson running that majority of the ball carrying skills, I feel like Jaden Ivey, like Kyrie said, playing off ball primarily will elevate him and also get Cade back to that basically that OSU vibes where he was basically kind of running the floor, getting his buckets when he could, getting to the line. But to me, so I do see
Everybody
Asar.
involved still. He's still keeping everybody involved. That's the thing with him.
Right, so that's where I feel like he is at his best. So to me, I feel like a guy like Asar Thompson, honestly, either or a men or Asar. I believe a men is projected to be the better point guard prospect, but I feel like Asar still has those same intangibles somehow, some way. I feel like Asar is the same exact defensive prospect as his brother as well, with the same type shooting restrictions for now. Honestly, I do see them getting some type of spot up shot and/or a floater game, something similar to Dyson Daniels' little push shot people loved when he was coming into the draft.
Right.
Which also I feel like he's a very comparable player to them. Now that I just brought that up, I wasn't even thinking about that. They're same build and everything, honestly. So yeah, I do have a start going there. I honestly feel like that's a perfect pick. Again, Monty Williams, a guy that could probably use him as like some type of basically an assigned assassin. He's going to be on the best player on the court pretty much every game if he goes there. So yeah, I like to start going to the Pistons.
All right, Lodge, I'm gonna keep the spotlight right on you, man. We're gonna go from Detroit to Florida. We're gonna go to Orlando, Florida specifically. Listen, the 6th pick, the clock's on. You're up. Who do you pick with the 6th pick of the draft?
I got them getting Jarris Walker. It's not. It wasn't before I made this mock draft. I didn't have him going here originally, but I do see some type of one fit for him, and his fit for them will be honestly dirty work. They don't have a dirty work type of player. A lot of their star players are key players. They're guys that are kind of. I feel like Paolo's dirty work, but at the end of the day, he's a star player. He's not really some grit and grind type of guy. He's grit and grinding you because he's destroying you down low, pushing the floor and all that. Jarris for them will give them an option to one. He still has scoring potential. He's a little slight undersized, which I feel like he could play that 4 spot, which again kind of constricts my pick because you have Wendell Carter at the 5. But again, me and Reek can agree and disagree on that one. But I don't think
ball too.
I don't think he'll be the 5 halfway through the season, honestly. And if it was
Cool.
possible, I would want them to put Paulo at the 5, but I don't think that can happen.
You forgot about
But-
Bobo. He's still a threat too, man.
Bobo can't start, unfortunately.
He
If we were
can't
playing
start.
2K, he would start, but man, again, another conversation. But yeah, I do like Jarris there. I'm not too set on this pick. I really don't see him going here though. Honestly, I wouldn't. I'm not going to say who I think he should go to, but this is basically how my picks fall out. So I have Joe Jarris going to Orlando.
All right, Kyrie. Let's get straight to it. Who are you picking with the 6th pick?
For Orlando, I'm gonna go back to back with the Twins too. Mine is just one position lower than Elijah's and Johnny's, but I got them going all-star right here. Simply because, like we've been talking about for a while, guys, the Magic just always, like for the past few years, have just had this log jam at in the backcourt. But at the same time, their perimeter defense has just been so shaky. So I figured here it would just be like best served with them. Um, it would be best served with them if they'll go with like a Swiss Army knife here who has some backcourt playmaking ability, but at the same time can play off ball, is a very, very strong defender and an insane athlete. He's a bit of a better shooter than his brother too, so that's something to be excited about and work on. But I think he fits in flawlessly with guys like Franz, who's going to be in there, Markel, who's going to be in there. I told Lars, I think Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs may get the boot soon. So it might not be both, it might be either or, but I could definitely see that happening. And I think a guy like Ashar with his playmaking ability, his heads up, his ability to pass and see above the defense, he'll definitely take advantage of the extra minutes there if it does happen. But even then, I think come in training camp, he won't have any time carving out minutes for himself, especially with his defense, and just his athletic ability and his. You know, he kind of reminds me of
What?
Derrick Jones Jr. In his heyday when he like not in his heyday I should say, but like when he's at his best playing with like with the Heat and with the Blazers, he could stretch the floor a little bit. But he could get up and he could really scout for like putbacks. He could get blocks here and there. Very wiry on the defensive end and can just plug in a lot of different places and play a lot of different positions. So I think they value him here a lot with that skill set here at number 6.
Okay, that's a great analysis. I didn't think of that. Jerry's wild. I kind of have him going a little bit 2 picks down. But Johnny, I'm gonna swing it to you. Let's get straight to it. Who are you picking with the 6th pick?
Yeah, Brody. It was tough. I feel what Kyrie was talking about. It was tough, dog. Because I feel like between Asura Thompson and Cam Whitmore, like he said before, I love him, bro. First of all, Nova stand up. I had to get him off the board. So I'm gonna have him going to Orlando. I had to get him
All
off the
right.
board. I wanted him going 5. The reason I said that was because I feel like I said before, I feel like Asura Thompson can play the guards, can guard the guard spots a little bit better than Cam would because he's a bigger build. I think he what 6'7",
That's a
230.
fact.
So
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
yeah, bro. So yeah, so with that being said, just off the size alone, Cam, I got Cam going right after that. So Cam's going to go to Orlando for me, and
Uh,
for the same things that Kyrie mentioned about him, for the same things that we all know about him. 13 points per game, 5 boards. The kid's got a heck of a motor, athletic ability. Off ball, he's a beast. First step is crazy.
yep.
Like at the end of the day, like he can contribute, and he does a really good job of turning rebounds into fast breaks. One thing I like about him is he'll crash, and once he crash, he believes in getting the easy bucket, the quickest, most convenient
Gotcha.
bucket. That guy's a pusher. I feel like he'll thrive a little bit, especially going to Orlando, working with Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs over there, right? So I think he'll fit well and he'll find his little ground meshing with those guys, and I think they'll
Right.
work with him. So I mean, shoot, even Markel Fultz, dude, he might even he might even feed off of him a little bit more. But I think overall, for his size and for his fit, I think he'll go to Orlando. But yo, for sure, it was tough between him and Asura Thompson. And honestly, Asura Thompson, Cam, and Jarris Walker, like those three, between like the 5 to 8 ranges, were tough to
Yeah.
place, bro.
Yeah, they definitely were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's super tough.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Cam Whitmore in my eyes is like Diane Edwards, bro. Like Dyer and Edwards
Really?
got a lot of the same qualities. He got a lot of the same a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the same stuff his bag and Edwards got. But
Diet. All
that's why
right.
that's why
Well,
that's why, that's why I put diet in front of it. That's why I put diet in
diet.
front of
Okay. All
it.
right. We're all on the diet. We're all on the diet. All right. With
Diet.
that, but Johnny, I'm gonna still keep the spotlight on you. I'm gonna swing it to Kyrie. So Johnny, with the
Yes, sir.
seventh pick, let's get straight to it. Who are you choosing with the seventh pick in the draft? You're the Indiana
And
Pacers.
that and like I said, bro, like these guys, they're hard to place and they're really close. That's where Jarrett's going for me. Jarrett goes there.
Okay.
Jarrett goes to Indiana. He goes to the Pacers, 7 boards a game, 11 points per game. I think he'll fit well somewhere in the front court there, off the
All
bench
right.
somewhere. My thing with him though, like I like him. Um, mad athletic and his build is crazy. But the thing with Jarris Walker, I would say, is his ball handling and his like finishing touch. He kind of sells a
Right.
lot. Not too much of a sellout artist, but he kind of sells a lot. And bro, these cats can't shoot, bro. Can I say that respectfully? Like these, like
Yeah.
between the 3 point line and the free throw line, these cats can't shoot.
Can you
He
shoot,
shot
Johnny?
like no, he can't shoot. The Jarris Walker, he shot like he was second in the league in all around field goal percentage on the team. Like in points in the paint,
It's
yeah,
all
but
paint
as
work.
far as
Yeah, all
yeah,
paint
Let's
work.
bro,
see.
like you got to figure these guys are. I'm not gonna say they one dimensional, but a lot of these cats, bro, who shot I forgot who I was talking about before that shot like barely 50% from the foul line. Asura Thompson shot 23% from the 3 point line. Jarris Walker can't throw a rock in the ocean from anything beyond the dotted line or 15 feet, it seems like. But I mean, whatever. Like at the end of the day, he was six in offensive rebounds. He pick and roll. He got ball handling ability, aggressive on defense, about 4 dimes a game. He can give you bits and pieces. He's 6'8", 235. So he ain't gonna be no punk on the other end. He's not getting pushed around too much.
Gotcha.
He might can fit, bro. I just feel like ball handling and his finishing touch needs a little bit more work. But Jarris Walker, I got him going to the Pacers mainly because he won't have to be as ball dominant, and I feel like he won't. It's not going to be as much pressure on him to succeed there right away.
That's okay. Great points, Lodge. I'm gonna swing it to you. Let's get straight to it. Who are you
So again,
choosing?
I put myself in another like situation where I don't necessarily see this happening,
Uh,
but I'm trying to find ways to convince myself, and I may need Reed to help me. But I got Cam Whitmore going to the Pacers. But so to me, honestly, considering what Reed's been trying to tell me and trying to sell me with him with, it sounds like a perfect complimentary and an exciting piece for Tyrese Halliburton to have than just some spot up shooter that's sitting in the corner. To me, that's what I usually see in the Indiana Pacers. There's not really a downhill guy or a guy that's really athletic, and then it gets the crowd going and gets the team going itself.
Benny,
So is Benny,
but
yeah, but Benny kind of. But are you? So if we want to be real, I think Benny tailed off towards the end of the season,
he did.
and I
He
feel like
hit, he
his
hit a
play
little bit of a
style,
wall. Yeah.
and I feel like his play style is a lot more streaky potential than Cam Whitmore, considering that's just me from what I've seen so far. But I also
I
don't
can
want
see
to.
that. Yeah.
But me bringing even Benny, I don't think bringing Cam Whitmore on would really take away from Benny. I think what it'll take away from is a guy like Chris Duarte, who I was really high on his rookie season. I feel like his
Mm-hmm.
sophomore season
One of
was
my favorite
wasn't
players, bro.
it wasn't a fall off season, but it was a forgettable season. I feel like guys like Buddy. Honestly, I feel like him being surrounded by guys like Buddy Hill. I feel like his 3 point shot would have been knocked down by now, and I think that was
Yeah.
one of the reasons why they're not ready to let go of Buddy Hill because they don't have that surefire knockdown shooter. Which clearly, with what Johnny's been talking about, we don't have one of those guys until late in the draft, basically out of the lottery. So
Right. Trying to get to like
again,
Grady's.
right, exactly. So to kind of strengthen my point, I do see them kind of switching it up. I literally from what I remember from Indiana basketball, it was Isaiah Jackson grabbing rebounds and Miles Turner grabbing rebounds, but Miles Turner's half the time is on the 3 point line. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like they need some type of downhill action other than Tyrese Halliburton attacking the rim all the time and kicking out the shooters. So I do feel like Cam Whitmore would be a nice switch up for the Indiana Pacers.
okay.
I kind of like that. I can see it. I can see it working.
Wait, hold on, Kyrie. Before you start, you might as well give in your seventh pick in the draft. Who you got going?
No, I was going to get into that. I was going to get into it. I
Yes.
was just saying the only thing with Lodge is I could see Cam there, but like we mentioned, just that log jam with him, Benny, Duarte, and Buddy would kind of get a little confusing to me. But they were to rectify that. I can see it. But for my seventh pick, I got to agree with Johnny. I got Jarius Walker going here too. Um, I was telling lies. I think the best possible place for him to land would be Detroit, but just the way I had things shaken out, he fell to Indiana for me. And I think he could be very liable here too. Johnny hit his weaknesses on the head as far as his finishing being soft. He does not like to take contact when he goes to the rim, and his hands could use a little bit
Sound
of
like
work too.
Indiana don't need that though.
But here's where he could come in
Which is
handy.
why he can go there and less pressure.
This is where he can come in handy though. I mean, one, he's a great passer at that forward position out of that short roll and in the middle of those zones. So when you got rim runners like a Miles Turner and Isaiah Jackson, um, and O'Shea Brissett if you keep him, or they have one more Jalen Smith who could go up and who could take those dimes off the baseline, who could go up and
Damn, I
get those
forgot
lobs.
about him.
Out of those short rolls, that's what Jarris Walker
Reed, that
too.
was your man's.
That was my man. I told everybody out of Maryland he was nice, and nobody wanted to believe in me. It's because he wears goggles. I'm telling you, bro. It's because he wears goggles. But I'm trying to tell everybody. But I see Jared fitting into all that because
Yeah, you ain't lying,
again,
bro.
a guy like
About 4
Cam
assists a
Whitmore.
game. You ain't lying.
Say again.
You ain't lying about Jarius Walker with the playmaking. About 4 assists a game. I didn't even keep that.
Out of that short roll in the middle of those zones, bro.
They used him as a ball
Live.
handler, and they've used him as a ball handler in the pick and roll. They used him as a
Yep.
ball handler.
Exactly. So you got somebody with that versatility, and again, I could rave about his defense all day, about his shot blocking time and his rotation time and his ability to stay in front of people. It's too much to not. It's too hard to pass on this at 7 in a place like Indiana where you kind of got your scores set to the side and Tyrese Halliburton. You got Benny. You got Benedict Mathurin kind of growing. You got Chris Duarte who's still growing. You get a guy like Jarris who I didn't like this comparison at first, but after watching it some more, I really liked the Paul Millsap comparison, where he can get you a quick 14 to 16 points a game in multiple ways. Because he's not a bad shooter either. He has an okay three, he has an okay spot of 3-point shooter, but that turnaround jump shot, that little step back jump shot in the pinch post area, he's really good at that. And kind of like Paul Millsap was, he's not a huge liability as a finisher, but that's something that could get better. A guy like Paul Millsap, who, not to mention, I believe was a multi-time All-Star. Had himself as a second round pick, had himself a very, very solid career. I don't see why he can't shoot for that, or of course above that, but something in that mold where he has that formula of versatility to be able to help a team like the Pacers win because he doesn't need the ball in his hand. He doesn't command a whole lot of attention. So I think it's the perfect pick for them, honestly.
All right. Great analysis, man. I'm loving this so far. We're at the 8th pick. We got 4 more picks. We got 6 more picks to go. Excuse me. All right.
Yep.
Are you guys ready? Live.
Sure.
I'm gonna
This
start
one,
with you.
I think this one should be unanimous.
Really? So
It
wait,
should
hold on.
be.
So I'm gonna start with you then. Hold on.
Yeah,
Who
who you
are
think,
you choosing?
bro?
I chose Kassan.
Okay.
Wait, let me make sure I'm not
Actually,
tripping. Yeah, I chose Kassan.
come on. It's Kaysen, man. Kaysen.
But Kaysen,
Thanks,
Kassan. Like, listen.
Kaysen.
Honestly, they don't have. Well, clearly, to me, they don't have a choice considering they just lost Bradley Beal and one Johnny Davis has like completely disappeared from the
Oh, he's
NBA.
disappointing. I probably them. Yeah, he's
And then
disappointing.
not that he's not on the team, but bro, like what happened?
To give him his props, he finished the season strong, but now again he was
Bro, yeah,
obviously.
after a whole G League
That's the
season,
whole right.
bro should
Come
have just
on,
went to the
man.
Ignite. He should have just went to the Ignite. Like, what?
Yeah.
So it's just like, so that not too much on Johnny Davis. I still have somewhat faith in him, but he honestly disappointed me like pretty badly. I feel like again another player like Denny Avia, who was kind of like that weird Josh Giddey playmaking forward type of guy. He isn't really popping off the screen as of yet. So I do feel like a guy like Kassan Wallace, who has some type of like you want to
He's
go
the
see what
best
he can do.
defender guard wise. The best
One,
guard.
yeah, well, yeah, when they don't have a lick of defense on that squad. Now that I'm thinking about it too, so So yeah, I feel like all around it's just one, you need a point guard, one, you need some type of reset at that guard position to kind of recover from Bradley Beal. Obviously, you're not going to do that anytime soon. So I think this is a good stepping point. Honestly, I would not be surprised if half the people they drafted before Kassan Wallace are gone within the next 2-3 years. Because I really feel like they're in not a bad situation, but a complete rebuild situation to where they're literally getting rid of players that they literally just got their hands on.
Yep.
Hence people like Denny Avia. I feel like, again, he's not horrible, but for what they wanted out of him, he was really supposed to be a Josh Giddey, a Franz Wagner caliber player.
He's just mid, bro. He don't excel at nothing. He don't have one thing to really hang his hat on, in my opinion.
Johnny Davis was supposed to be like African American Ginobili. That never happened. So it's just like I don't
Ginobili.
I feel bad for Washington, honestly. Bro, was it one of his comparisons to Ginobili, Reed?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ginobili is wild.
Just trying to compare the ball for the ball spot. Like, you can't, bro. No.
Right, listen, Kyrie, I'm gonna swing it to you. Who are you picking with the 8th pick? Like Lai said, this should be a unanimous decision.
Yeah. I'll keep it short just because I agree with Lai that he pretty much hit the nail on the head. They definitely need Kayshawn here at 8. I actually heard I think he canceled most of his workouts after he worked out for the Wizards last week.
Oh, I didn't get that report.
Yeah,
so I heard that too.
He canceled like his workout with the Raptors or something. But I definitely see them hitting the reset button. Kuzma just declined his option. Kristaps is gonna go, I'm pretty sure. Why not start your point guard here with a point guard, one, that can defend, two, that shows a lot of leadership qualities and has a good head on his shoulders point guard wise as far as playmaking and decision making.
Play with it.
If Johnny Davis gets his act together, if Corey Kispert finally gets
I forgot about Kiss. Shout out Kiss.
I need him to pop off, bro. But
you got to.
Again, they kind of in the situation like y'all was talking about the Rockets. They don't need to do it. They ain't not in no rush. So you get Kayshawn.
They need to go out there, make mistakes, and learn.
Yeah,
exactly. But I really, as far as like as a player individually though, I really like him, bro. I really like him.
I love them, man.
Yeah.
Only one of the few bright moments.
Can get to the rim. Yeah, I like his play style.
And all right, Johnny, swing to you. Straight to before we go to the 9th pick.
Johnny, you muted, bro.
You are muted, Johnny.
My fault. Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna keep it 3-0, bro. Keep it 3-0. Casey Wallace for me too, bro. I like the same thing from him. 12 points per game, 4 boards. He is the best on-ball defender at on-ball defender. Specifically, I'm gonna say that the best on-ball end-to-end defender that I've seen like coming out of this draft. And let's say it. Why not? For the sake of argument, Kentucky guards are underrated when it comes to the pros.
I know, man. They get slided.
Like, you never know. You never know. You don't know what
they get slided, bro. We get slided.
Who? Wait, no. I will know. We can reschedule this draft. No, Johnny. Please, God.
He ain't that shit.
Please.
All right, so just go ahead.
What Kentucky guard has been slighted? Please give me one.
Stop doing that.
Well,
you know the guards are slided. Aaron Fox was slighted.
I'm saying Kentucky guards aren't bad when they get to the league. Like they ain't bad. Kentucky guards
Devin Booker was slided.
Don't end up being that bad. So based off of the history of Kentucky guards in the NBA, go ahead and take a shot and pick up Casey. Because Kentucky guards in the NBA are you're not insane for going with one.
Tyler Hero.
You tell me a historic string of Kentucky guards that ain't that bad.
It's over for you. It's over. All right, go ahead, Johnny. No, hold on. Let him finish. I'm gonna let you go next.
You've been too juiced about Kentucky this whole time. Bro barely heard what Johnny was talking about. Anyway. The way y'all entered that statement, it made it seem like y'all was trying to say Kentucky guards don't get no type of recognition or they get slighted. That is literally the complete opposite.
Sometimes they be getting
a little too much.
Go ahead, bro. All right, Johnny, go ahead.
Go with him. Go pick him up. Kentucky girls ain't that bad. I want to say since after maybe you know what, maybe I feel that way maybe I feel that way ever since the Corona year, the COVID year when the college tournament got canceled, and I feel like one Kentucky guard went a little bit later than he should have. But that's
Who
been
came up
stuff.
with who?
That was a little bit.
He's talking about Tyrese Maxey and Emmanuel
Yeah,
quickly, bro.
Yeah, you on
Bro, they was
quickly.
cool right where they were at.
that
They
was
was not
that,
supposed to
I,
go
So
that,
any
quickly
higher.
should have been
if
Tyrese Maxey should have been higher.
if it wasn't for yeah, well yeah.
The COVID,
But I'm
I
just
didn't
saying,
get to play in
guards,
the tournament.
Kentucky guards ain't too
Bro,
shabby.
No, all right, we got
Kentucky
to keep
guards
it
ain't too
going
shabby.
though.
Yeah,
Keep
we
going,
got to keep it
bro,
Johnny.
moving,
All
bro.
right, is that it, Johnny?
you have to, but the fact that you have
Lies
to
don't
say
like
that,
that. Look, lies don't.
for no, because it's just weird. You kind of like, you're trying to like say, bro, because you're trying to like sympathize for Kentucky, like they're not a top 3 recruiting class every year. They just ought to freaking have just good guards. Like, what do you mean?
No more. Hold on. We get sliding though. Look, and we got Kyrie. Next year's guard class gonna be crazy. We
There we
got
go.
Oh my
Colin, move
god,
it,
best
move it
guards
along,
on
bro.
the
I,
same
Come on.
team.
Oh,
Colin,
shut
I
up.
swear.
You
Come
know
on.
We're
what?
not
We ain't
gonna
got
do
nothing.
that.
We ain't
We're
got
not
to do
gonna do that.
Come on,
We're not
bro. Move
gonna
it
do
along.
that. Let's
On
move it
good
along.
pages.
Listen, Lodge. I actually. So, who do you have? All right, with the
Yeah,
current. So
We're on
everyone
we're
pick.
on to the
This
ninth
is
pick
why.
now. We're on to the ninth pick
Ninth
now.
pick.
Yeah.
What a ninth pick. So we got a ninth pick. So Utah Jazz, man. I'm gonna swing it to you, Kyrie. Who you picking with the ninth pick? Utah Jazz.
I got the Jazz getting Ant Black here, Anthony Black out of Arkansas, and
Okay.
Yep.
it's one because
Unanimous decision again. Okay.
it's very slim as far as true point guards here, and they really need that. So I say, why not get somebody that can play the wing, and has a lot of point guard capabilities too. I see the Josh Giddey comparison thrown out there a lot. I see it in certain instances, but I think Josh Giddey's more of a pure point guard and has better vision and just has a better feel at that position. But I'm not saying.
Right.
But the thing is, though, I think Anthony Black can grow into being that type of player, being that lead guard type of player as like a point forward. And I think he can help make the Jazz better. Honestly, I mean, he gets to the rim. He's very athletic. His jump shot didn't fall like it was supposed to this year, but I'm a believer in it. I like his form, and he's a very solid defender at 6'7" with long arms. He's good at getting to the passing lanes. He just got to get a lot more physical. So I like the number 9. I like number 9 here going Anthony Black. I think the Jazz are good with that right there.
Yuri, I got a
Live.
question.
All right, go ahead.
Who are the Spurs point guards right now?
Spurs point
Is,
guard.
is, is one of the Jones is one of the Jones brothers?
Trey
Tyus
Jones.
Jones, and I think they know like Blake Wesley. One of them,
Yeah, he
Notre
barely.
Dame.
It's
Yeah, Blake.
Keldon Johnson's a 2,
Wait,
right?
wait,
He's a small forward.
Reed. Those are their only 2 point guards?
Yeah, Tyus
Yeah,
Jones and Blake Wesley.
I can't think of anybody else. I know I'm missing somebody. I can't think of it right now though.
Well, maybe I'll bring it up after I get off my point. But I got them. I got the Jazz drafting Bilal Coulibaly, and I know Reed was telling me he's not really a fan of this, but I wasn't really. I was gonna bring that up because maybe they could. Because you remember we were seeing the alert about the Spurs kind of seeking either one of the Thompson brothers,
Yeah, or
Bilal,
Bilal.
in a second lottery pick in a trade. And I was saying maybe considering that the Jazz need a point guard, maybe you can give them like a Trey Jones of some sort. But I don't think he's done enough for them for that to even be a credible, even an option at any point. But
Yo,
yeah, I have Bilal.
honestly, bro, I see them throwing. I see them throwing Chris Dunn back out there because they talk about trading College Sexton. So I think they're gonna throw Chris Dunn back out there to start the season off. I don't see them grabbing nobody else.
Yeah, so for right now, I do feel like for the small sample size I've seen him, I haven't been able to sit down and watch him as much. But he seems like a very just raw utility type guy that kind of just fill any role like spaces that you need around your team. Kind of this might sound a little crazy, but to me, he seems like some type of like poor man's Luol Deng type of player with that size and his slight kind of shooting ability. But to me, I feel like he
Yeah.
excels more on the defensive side, grabbing rebounds. Um, I like I said, I don't have too much on him, but considering what the situation the Jazz are in, I do feel like they're willing to take chances on guys like this.
Okay,
I think he would be nice. I think he'd be okay there.
fair
I don't
point.
know.
But again, they don't have a point guard though, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need Anthony Black. I'm leaning toward, but I like your analysis. I'm not gonna disagree. That's an intriguing point. I'm gonna swing it to Johnny. Johnny, who do you got picking with the ninth pick?
Real quick, it was tough for me too because Bilal, it was between Bilal and Ant Black. I got Ant Black, but I'm gonna tell you, I had Bilal. I almost put him going to the Wizards at first. I halfway
Hmm.
had him going there if it, but then I thought about, yeah, obviously I'll go with chasing over that. But I had Bilal. He was tough for me. I was gonna put him with the Jazz, but the reason I put Ant Black with the Jazz is because I feel like as a strictly guard, they need that more. Bilal, he's about 6'8" with 7'2" wingspan. So he'll fill more positions, which is probably good. But I think specifically guard play is what the Jazz need. But regardless of say, bro, Ant Black, another guy who just can't shoot too much, 30% for the 3-point line. I mean,
Yeah.
13 points per game, but my opinion, he should have averaged more, considering the type of build that he is and the type of talent and the athletic potential that he possessed. I feel like he should have scored more. But be that as it may, great defense. He knows how to pass. He had about what 4 assists per game. I see right here. He can fit in that backcourt with Utah. Not too shabby. I like him. But my thing with Ant Black is like, yeah, he's got to get these cats. He's got to be able to. He's got. I need more consistency with his jump shot. That's the one thing that's going to keep him on the floor. And it's going to like be like the main cause or the main like fallback in his development. Is going to be the fact that he can shoot a little bit more. So, and on top of that, he's a little bit older. Bilal, I think he's 18, so I don't think they want to take a chance on somebody that experience. So I think they'll go with Ant Black just off those numbers. But I like Bilal too.
All right, the 10th pick. We're going back to Texas, but we're going to Dallas.
I'm
Lodge, who are you
excited
picking?
about this one. Oh, I get to go first. Oh, I didn't have to
Yeah,
ask.
who's the 10th pick?
So this might be again. Shout out to Reed, kind of put me on. This guy's kind of turned into like maybe he'll probably end up being like top 3 to top 5 most watched rookies I watched this year, and that'll be Taylor Hendricks.
Hmm.
Honestly, I feel like
I like
Hey
that.
boys,
he's
I
I'm
literally
like that.
like
calling it tonight.
bleeding, like literally bleeding at the face on his face. Like, please just draft me to Dallas because, bro, I
Hmm.
think the first week he's gonna destroy Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell and make them look like what have you been dealing with these past like 4 or 5 years? To me,
Oh man.
off rip, I feel like he's a way better defensive potential prospect than both the guys they have soaking up all those minutes.
Of
I feel like
course.
his spot up 3 ball it could be on Maxi Kleber's level. To me, Maxi Kleber wasn't even that good of a shooter this year. And then
40%,
as far as
it might be better.
right, so and as far as eliminating Dwight Powell, he's clearly the more athletic guy. He's clearly an easy, just as good as a lob threat. And I just feel like, as far as intangibles and again, a younger body, a guy you get them to mold into what you want them to be and easier to mold considering what you already have at your plate with Taylor Hendricks. I feel like he's literally perfect for, again, if possible, they keep Kyrie and Luka, someone they can kind of bail themselves out with, just throwing a shot up, stacking it off the rim, clearing it back out, or just Taylor just destroying the rim off a putback or off a lob. So it's just, again, another high energy piece to get the crowd going, get the team going and a guy that should be there, kind of like Tyson Chandler is piece for the next for a while now. He should be there for. To me, I feel like if best case scenario, Taylor Hendricks' name will be on a Dallas Mavericks jersey for the next at least 5 to 7 years, as long as Luka's there. I feel like Luka's going to fall in love with him.
That's fair. Okay. Man, Larry Lies, that was nice analysis. Kyrie, I'm gonna swing it to you, then Johnny. Go ahead, Kyrie. The 10th pick. Do we have a unanimous decision here?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Elijah 100%. And this is
Okay.
I feel like this is the only pick the Dallas Mavericks have business making. If it comes to number 10 and Taylor Hendricks isn't available, I say, or even if Jarris isn't available, I say they trade
Derek
this pick
Lively.
because
No, they might draft Derek.
if that's you got to trade down for Derek Lively. I'm not taking him at number 10. That's just me.
No, I'm
You
not
But
taking
good?
that. That's crazy.
but like I said it. He might as well have a shirt that says Dallas Mavericks, please draft me because this is exactly what they need. They need a shot blocker. They need athleticism and grit and tenacity inside the paint because they just simply do not have it. I'm tired of watching them fold in the playoffs because they just simply don't have any big men that can grind down low. Like, and they just get punched in the mouth all night on defense and in the interior. And a guy like Taylor Hendricks who puts up a block or two a game, is super bouncy. He has a quick second jump. That's one of the main like impressive things about me. That quick second jump where he's able to get off the floor, tip the ball to himself, get that putback, get that rebound, and at the same time
Oh,
have these rim runner capabilities and shoot three. He fits in with what they need. Luka Doncic doesn't have to shoot as many perimeter threes anymore because you have somebody you can run pick and pops with now. It just makes too much sense for them not to draft him right here at number 10.
Okay. I'm Johnny. Unanimous decision. Are you rocking with it?
Yeah, Lodge, what you wanted to say, bro? You had a point,
no.
right?
Well, are you gonna pick Taylor Hendricks?
Yeah, he'll win. It's a win. But what you got to say, bro? We three
So
over
when
here.
in the middle of breaking down, I almost forgot, and I wanted to kind of send out a it's kind of a shot, but it's a Chris Amar about Christian Wood and the trade of Kristaps Porzingis. I feel like that was a really, really gas situation. And to be honest with you, ever since Kristaps Porzingis left, he's been Kristaps Porzingis. He's been perfectly fine. So it's
Yep.
just like, again, the people you're honestly to bring up Christian Wood, Taylor Hendricks has the potential to be just as good as him in his own way. So again, it's just a knob. Literally, you're literally knocking out all the three. Not. I wouldn't say Christian Wood is literally a problem, but I feel like his purpose for their team is literally not what they needed. They didn't need another third interior scorer. They need a guy that size that could defend, run the floor, and again score at that third option. You don't need him to be some primary scorer when you have literally Luka soaking up all the time. So yeah, I just wanted to shoot that out there. They traded for Christian Wood for no reason. Christian Wood has not been the same ever since. He couldn't get on the starting lineup because he could not play defense. So it's just like, yeah. Shout out to Kristaps though. Hopefully you come back to New York, bro. We miss you.
Yes, sir.
Yo, good call too. Because I, for one, as a Citrus fan, I was mad we let go of Christian Wood. Brett Brown just couldn't coach him, in my personal opinion. But for him to go over to Dallas and see him to produce less, it seems like I'm like, well, maybe he wasn't as good, maybe or fit over there as I would have thought he'd be. But yeah, dog. I
It's
mean,
seeming like his fit is to be on a team that needs a rebuild or a team that has no like playoff aspirations to me.
there you go, Kyrie. You found your bridge player. They go one of them bridge players you was talking about, Ray. Christian
Who
Wood. They go
that?
one Christian Wood, one of them bridge players you was talking about.
He
Oh
was
no.
already there in Houston.
No, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? I thought of somebody in my mind too. That's on the trade block me and Elijah was talking about earlier. After we had the debate, of course. But DeJounte,
Oh yeah,
let them get
DeJounte. There you go.
DeJounte.
Good call, Larry.
Let Houston
Bro,
get DeJounte.
For
It's a
sure.
wrap. It's a wrap.
bro, there's no way he goes there though.
Who says no? APJ a first round pick for DeJounte? What's up?
And send him to
Yeah.
Atlanta with Trae Young? What?
That's
Who
crazy.
cares?
No, bro, no.
That would be what? That you said? Who
Bro,
cares?
no.
That's wild.
Who
That's like.
cares, bro?
I'm saying.
All right, listen.
Not
All right,
about
listen.
the
Let's
DeJounte.
get to. Listen,
Bro,
let's get to the 11th
that's
pick.
making my
Yeah.
head hurt just thinking about that even happening. Like,
Well, look, we're gonna. But real quick, I'm just to bring it full circle though. A Christian,
Yes.
like another version or younger, probably better version of Christian Wood and these bridge players, Taylor Hendricks. I agree, dog. 15 points per game, 6'9", 210, 2 blocks per game. They need that defense. They need that testicular fortitude, as they say, in the paint, putting it lightly and professionally.
yo, no, I'm
They
done.
need
I'm done.
that's what we gonna call it because they lack. Bro, I know a Dallas fan. He will tell you they soft up front. And they need
Johnny
that
is
fort.
top 5.
They need fortitude. They need. Listen. I'm just analyzing. Nobody's advocating here. We just analyzing. And then and the analytics show time and time again they need some fortitude down low. This kid will bring it, dog. This kid got it, man. This kid got it. He's a pick and roll situation. He'll give you that pick and pop situation. He'll give you that shooting 40% from three. Yeah, I mean, better touch is involved. He could do better on some ball handling, but he ain't got to worry about that with Luka being over there. He ain't gonna be that much pressure on him to handle the rock. He's gonna be a 3-and-D player, and they definitely need defense
Gotcha.
down there.
Let's get it, man. All right, 10 picks in. We're on the way to the 11th. Kyrie, I'm gonna swing it to you. The Magic got the 11th pick, 2 lottery picks. That's pretty crazy. Are they keeping the pick to make a trade, or are they just hey, we're in rebuild mode. Let's get another talent.
I think despite their logjam and their their discombobulation roster wise, I think they keep both of the picks. And at this pick, they pick my sleeper of the draft, in my opinion. I think they go with Bilal Coulibaly here. And it's because, again, for the same reason I had them picking a Sharks Hobson at 6, it's another Swiss Army knife. It's another guy you can play in multiple positions. It's another guy that can serve multiple purposes. A solid on ball defender. He just measured in at 6, I think like around 6'8", with a 7'2" wingspan. He's quick. Yo, like the way he's built and the way he moves, y'all. He reminds me of like an attended Coon, bro. Like if he was like one of the attended, like he would fit like right in, like just the size, like the build, like even the way he plays, like just just being like a ball of energy and like that plug-in type of guy. Like he just reminds me of what like he like got those guys' same traits. I just thought it was like I just seen him and he always just reminded me of one of them. But again, he's a project like Lodge mentioned. Um, you got to work on his jump shot a little bit more, especially off the dribble. But I think he comes in day one. He has things that you can have him play on the floor with like ASAP. That's like I said, his defense, being able to play to the passing lane, his being a connector as far as a passer and as a playmaker. He just knows like to make the right plays and the right passes and the right reads. He's too solid an all around player, and I think he kind of negates that problem you have with
Sure does.
either whether it be backcourt or wing too much depth in Orlando's case. I think he kind of negates that because he could play multiple positions and guard multiple positions. So again, he's a project, so you're gonna have to be they're gonna have to be really patient with him and let him grow and let him have his time to mess up. But yeah, I got them go with Bilal here.
All right. Love it. I had actually Grady Dick going there, but then in hearing your point, I was like, you know what? Man, what you saying make a lot more sense. Johnny, I'm gonna swing it to you and then Lodge.
Yes, sir. I'm with you. See, I got Grady. I got Grady going there myself. I see. I definitely feel the Bilal pick. Like I said, I really like this kid, man. But I don't. I don't have too much on him, and for his age, I'm not sure. Like he's a little bit too raw in the potential area for me. I like Grady a little bit more solid for his game's sake. The Magic were 25th in like threes last year. Like this is a make or miss league. This is a 3-point shooting league. You need a threat at that position. And how about this, guys? We got a shooter. Our first actual shooter in the draft of somebody that's worthy of respecting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, yeah, as far as consistency. I like Taylor Hendricks three point capability. This kid, I think he's a pure sniper. He lived off of 18 points per game his throughout his college career off the 3-point line. The majority of those points. Grady, he was 18 points per game, 5 boards, 40% from three. Yeah, bro, he's what the Magic needs. And he's not, and at the end of the day, they're not asking much from him. They're pretty much all right there in the guard forward area. They just need some 3-point threats, and I think they go with Grady a little bit more, especially for like given them that who else is available at that moment. Like he's the sniper of the draft. And I think he goes for Orlando.
All right. Grady to the Magic. Okay, at least you got a co-sign here. Kyrie, are you going with Grady? You got who's your pick?
I'm on with Bilal, remember? His last term.
Oh yeah, excuse me, Lodge. Excuse me. I mean Lodge. All right. Okay, got Lodge. Lodge. Who are you rolling with?
You're mute, bro. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Oops.
Yep, got you.
No, I got them drafting Anthony Black. And honestly helped me double down on my reason on why, and that's the possibility of them getting rid of Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony. I think Jalen Suggs is more liable to get rid of because I think this is his third or fourth year coming up, so wouldn't he be due for an extension?
Sometime soon, yeah.
So that will probably reset the time at a guard position to where someone at the same, maybe if not bigger size than Jalen Suggs and the potential that he's similar, not the same potential, but the similar potential as far as what they can do for the Orlando Magic. I feel like that'll be a good spot to be in. And honestly, I feel like they kind of, for the next few years, they don't really have a choice. They're not going to be able to get like a veteran spot filled in any position they really need, and they're gonna constantly have to just keep recycling draft picks over and over again until they find the right combination to tie with Paulo Banchero. So I feel like Anthony Black will be their choice and risk for the time being, and we'll see how that works for them if that happens.
Yeah, hopefully he's available if he's still there. He might still be there.
No, honestly, and listen, Lodge, I'm gonna keep the spotlight on you. The 12th pick. Who are you choosing, man? And this is gonna be interesting because you know OKC just doesn't miss when it comes to drafting. So go ahead.
So I kind of overthought this pick, considering like I feel like after the few picks around this area, it can't really go any way. And I feel like, especially the season Isaiah Joe had, but I feel like he could even be in a light no more if he didn't have to keep constantly getting stuck in situations where he couldn't just literally catch the ball and just let it go. You get a guy like Kobe Buffkin who can kind of do that for him and take him off that, and have Isaiah So sit in the corner, camp corner, trailing fast breaks behind, being a decoy, and letting Kobe Buffkin kind of be that higher gun type of guy off the bench and being able to score off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I feel like that'll also take the weight off Shea having to run with the bench as well, having to get them points. I feel like they kind of struggle with that at the guard position, other than Isaiah Joe. And to me, I feel like, especially with Chet, Poku, if they still have him at the time,
Right.
guys like Jalen Williams, I feel like they're all kind of setting their own kind of they're kind of rolling in the starting lineup. So I feel like them right now is kind of strengthening their bench and seeing who they can kind of dish out for vet players depending on when they're ready to kind of get in the win now mode. And I feel like Kobe Buffman would be a nice piece for that.
And no, I'm definitely in agreement with that. I'm surprised no one brought him in up, but he probably falls around this during draft night too. Johnny, I saw you in agreement of it. Are we having potential unanimous here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Okay.
Shay likes him. Shay likes him. Pre-draft workout, worked out with Shay. Already fit with the team. It looks like it was kind of like Markel Fultz with the Sixers, kind of in the offseason.
Got you.
He kind
Yeah.
of was
Okay.
getting kind of. So
All
that right
right.
there made me think, oh, they're gonna pick this kid. So that right there.
I
But
got you.
no slight
You
here.
just have to
14
call.
point, 14 points and 5 boards. 6'4", 195. Not that bad. Like let's see what he can do. Right. Bring in another
All
guard. Why
right.
not?
Okay. All right. Kyrie, talk to me. Who you got?
I just don't see OKC bringing on another guard. They got a lot of them: Jalen Williams, Shea, Lou
I'm about
Dort,
to. They love
Freddie
guards. That's
Grant,
what I'm saying. I was being sarcastic.
Isaiah Joe, Isaiah Joe. Yeah, they got a lot of guards. So I see them going with. It's a little bit of a reach because this draft is so thin, big man wise. But I got them still going with Leonard Miller here at the G League Ignite. I feel like he fits with them. I think he
Ah,
fits in their
okay.
timeline, and I could just see him working well side by side with Chet because he's a very solid rebounder. He has to work. He has to work a little bit as a shot blocker and as an interior defender overall. But that's what he has Chet there for. And at the same time, he can go out and guard in the perimeter a little bit better. And he's very fluid at 6'10", 6'11", long arms. He's athletic. He can get out and run. He's a very, very good finisher around the rim. So I think he's a very reliable pick. Even though it might be a reach, I think he's still a reliable pick for OKC right here to kind of beef up their big man depth a little bit more.
Okay.
Wait,
Johnny, we're going.
so are they giving up on Usman already?
Well, Usman's more like a wing. He could definitely play the three, especially if he could develop the outside jumper. I see it more as them giving up on Poku.
Okay. All right, Johnny. The Toronto Raptors. Man, the 13th pick, the Kobe pick. That's what I call it. Rest in peace to Bean Bryant. Who do you have going to the Toronto Raptors with the 13th pick? Considering
With
that
the
they need a
turf,
point guard and
yeah,
so much.
um, yeah, for sure they do. But I'll go with I'll put Bilal there. I'll put him there. Just for the fact that like for the guard spot, for the backup guard spot, potentially, and he can play a little bit of the wing, a little bit. 6'8", 7'2" wingspan. Like I said, he's young. He's a good off ball mover. He's a good catch and shoot potential. He displays that. I got Bilal Coulibaly going there with the 13th pick. I figured somebody's got to take a chance on this kid, and Toronto probably would do that. They just sit Fred VanVleet's going. I'm not putting them in rebuild mode, but as far as that guard position, I feel like they would probably be the team to take a chance on a young prospect like Bilal.
Okay, that I'm swinging to Kyrie, but they're definitely in the rebuild mode once he trade Fred Van Vliet. 'Cause who else do they have besides Scotty Barnes? They're definitely in rebuild.
Pascal Siakam. You forgetting about Pascal?
Oh
That's why I
man,
say I don't want to
well,
stay with
they'll
them, but I
trade
don't know
him
what they're
too
gonna do with
eventually. In my
Pascal.
opinion.
I about to
No,
say,
what are you all man? And what are you
I
all
don't-
man? You mad? You mad as hell? He elbowed Embiid in the face. Little punk ass.
Yeah, I'm mad. Yeah, him
Mad
and
as hell.
Claxton can go. Him and
Nah,
Claxton, bro.
no one's
We
worried
never
about
forget.
Pascal. All right, go ahead, Kyrie.
You see, y'all
Yeah,
just
Toronto's confusing though because we're saying they're in the rebuild, especially since it looked like Fred Van Vliet's out of there. But they also came out and said today that they don't plan on trading OG and a newbie. That also gonna be some draft day smoke screen, you know. But
That kind of
I
defeats the purpose of your rebuild, though.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So at this point, it's looking more like a retool. So
Hmm.
if I'm looking at it that way, I'm going with Grady here. One because
Okay.
during the draft. And what Toronto struggled with so much this past season was shot creation between like all five guys on the floor. Like they like just the way like they were just too clunky offensively, and they didn't have a guy that can kind of step back into the outside and shoot from outside at a consistent rate. You had a guy like
That's
Grady that can come off of pin downs, and he can come out of screens and stuff like that and get his feet set real quick and get a nice jumper um get a nice jumper off. And at the same time he's very underrated and he's very I would say uh disrespected a little bit when it comes into his fluidity and as an athlete and his movement as an athlete because he could get to the rim too a little bit in strides and he has a good finish. He has good finishing ability. He can get up there. So I know last time I was looking for a comparison to him, I kind of thought of like an Austin Reeves, but he doesn't have Austin Reeves' handle yet. So, but like a guy like Grayson Allen is also like another really good comparison because he's another knockdown shooter. Grayson Allen is a solid on-ball defender, and Grady Dick doesn't get the credit he deserves for being as solid as the on-ball defender that he is, especially in space and as far as an off-ball defender as well. But he has a lot of nice qualities to him, and I think Toronto could definitely use him, especially his shooting ability and his ability to get shots off. With their clunkiness and them again not having a point guard and or seemingly not having a point guard and having to figure that out. I say with the point guard that like right here in this crop right now aren't really the ones liable towards rebuilding with or go like kind of starting over with. So why not go with Grady and yeah, and like I said before, he has like something he can translate to the NBA from day one. And if you're not interested in rebuilding, just retooling, I say you go with that.
okay. That's a pretty fair point. Lodge. So Johnny had an interesting choice. Kyrie had an interesting choice. Go ahead, Johnny. I mean, Lodge. Talk to me. Who's your pick with the 13?
So I kept hearing about losing a point guard, but neither one of them picked a point guard.
I
Now
know.
I know there isn't a
Nobody care
Kassan
for picking point
Wallace.
guard.
Well, Z, I don't know about all that. I'm gonna go with Hood Shafino.
Ah,
I'm gonna go
thank
with I'm gonna
you.
go with Hood
Come
Shafino.
on. My favorite pick so far. My favorite
And
pick.
one for one is just like they kind of are in a rebuild. 'Cause even if they lose Freddie, what point guard are you about to get that's about to give the ball to Grady Dick and Scotty Barnes if you draft him?
Right.
So it's just like, and again, if you draft Jalen, you at least have some type of guard to look forward to. And I feel like one, him being a bigger size, he has one good, better defensive potential than Fred Van Vliet. Obviously, he's not going to be the scorer and or shooter coming right off the bat, but I do feel like his point guard skills could be enough for them to start to a real rebuild on. No, he doesn't have to be the surefire rebuild future point guard, but I do feel like he's good enough and or at least willing to try at
That's
this
it.
pick. It isn't like we're picking him that high either as well.
I like
That's
that. I like that. I could agree with that.
that's fair.
I
Okay.
like that.
I'm not gonna say that's too crazy. I had Jalen Hood Shafino possibly 13. I mean, it's his wingspan for me. 6'10" wingspan. He did have about 12 points per game and about four
Yeah.
boards, but that didn't stand out to me for I guess I didn't watch him or whatever, but from when I read up on him, I feel like that the Raptors for the rebuild mode, possibly we'll go with a younger prospect. But Hood Shafino ain't crazy. I mean, his wingspan is ridiculous, and yeah, he might add. He might be able to produce a little bit more than the young boy.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's
I just
fair.
wonder. I wonder if those shooting numbers. Just wonder if those shooting numbers can get up and stay up.
Listen, I love
The thing
Lies
is,
to me had
I
the
think
best pick.
Deontay George. That's the only thing that's been holding me back from him is their efficiency as
Nah,
a scorer.
I'm taking Jalen
But
over Keontae George any day, 9 times out of 10. He's definitely shown he's the better athlete, the better prospect, the better player in their whole college season. And they're both what? They're both freshmen, I believe. No, Jalen Hood is a sophomore, or he's a freshman. Yeah, he's a freshman. So yeah. Now we got Derek. So who's the 14th pick for the New Orleans Pelicans, Kyrie? I'm gonna start with you, then swing it to Lodge, and then Johnny and finish it off.
so the last pick I got going in the lottery, I'm gonna have UConn national champion Jordan Hawkins going here to New Orleans.
You
And
Okay,
guys been calling it all night, bro. Let's
I
go.
and
like it.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you guys why I like this. One, I see him having a very similar type of down the line, have a very similar type of skill set or approach to the game as a CJ McCollum, where CJ McCollum was kind of put into a box as a like as a tweener, not really being big enough to play two guard, but not having like the ball handle ability
At
or the passing
Portland.
ability to play point guard like consistently. But at the end of the day, he was a straight up 22 point per game scorer. That was hard. That had great handle and that was hard to stop. Jordan Hawkins isn't necessarily there yet, especially as far as like the handle goes. But when it comes to shooting, he's not just a spot up shooter or a catch and shoot shooter. One thing that really stood out to me, especially during the championship run, was his ability to create off the ball. His off the ball movement is spectacular, and he's comfortable coming off in multiple different ways, whether it be pin downs, off the screens, in transition, one dribble pull up, one dribble sidestep pull up, like very minimal type moves where his handles won't really get exploited too much. And this is perfect for New Orleans because when they had Zion in the lineup, I'm kind of 50-50 on whether he starts the season with them.
Right.
But even then he might be hurt and not be able to play. So but at the same time, when they had Zion in the lineup, and even certain guys like a Herb Jones who still kind of trying to figure things out offensively. Trey Murphy, who really exploded this season, he's still trying to figure certain things out offensively still as well. Their offense could get really slow and clunky too. And they didn't have that guy that could move off the ball really and get a shot off real quick without taking too many dribbles and re-clunking things back up. Like that wasn't really Brandon Ingram's game. He's more of a two dribble, get to my spot type of guy. CJ McCollum, he likes to dribble and get into his bag.
Fair.
Trey Murphy is a catch and shoot shooter. He's a sniper from outside, but mainly in catch and shoot situations. So you get a guy like Jordan Hawkins that can score off the ball and not have to dominate it too much, and at the same time hiding his weakness as a ball handler. I think it works perfect hand to hand for both the team and Hawkins.
Love it. Okay. Okay. I'm with the pick. Lodge, who are you? The last selection of the lottery. Who are you taking?
I got Grady Dick.
Ugh.
I got
Maybe
Grady
the-
Dick to the Pels. Honestly, outside of Trey Murphy, they don't really have a knockdown shooter.
Gotcha.
If we're being really honest. Herb
That's
Jones, he's great. I love him to death. But his 3-point shot is a little too streaky for them to really rely on. Not to say Grady Dick will be late in game this season coming up. I do feel like he'll be, if he is picked by them, they will have a lot of bench minutes given to him. Yeah, I do like all the Jordan Hawkins actually picked. Though I kind of feel like an idiot because I completely forgot about him. But yeah, I'm gonna still ride with Grady on this one. I'm not gonna switch up.
okay. Love it. All right, Johnny, to finish off the last lottery selection of this episode, who are you taking? Are you in agreement with Kyrie?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes,
unmute
sir. All right, our fans. It's pretty much. Yeah. I'm all right to our listeners. It's pretty much. We love y'all for still sticking with us to the end, but y'all gotta know we going
Appreciate
with Jordan. We going with who the majority of y'all probably gonna go for. Jordan Hawkins. I have to agree with that as well. I got him going down for the Pels. Everything Kyrie said. The guy is one of the top pure shooters in this draft, which ain't saying much, unfortunately. But still, at the end of the day, I just want to say this. In addition to his off-ball movement and the way how versatile of a shooter that he can be, how much you can utilize him on the floor. I just gotta drop these numbers real quick when it comes to his shooting. Like when I say that
Right.
this kid can shoot, we know how great he is as far as his like that's his knack. Jordan Hawkins, in my personal opinion, I think he's a better bucket getter as far as versatility. But in addition to his 3 point shooting, 24 points in the Elite Eight, and he shot 43% from three. 20 points in the Final
Yes.
Four, and he shot 60% from three. And he dropped 16 in the championship game, and he shot 50% from three. This kid's a shooter. This kid, he can step in right away and produce. I think the
Oh,
Pels are going to have fun with that guy. And yeah, I can't wait to see Jordan Hawkins get picked up. For sure, bro. For sure. That
man,
championship run was
listen,
crazy.
and listen. And with that, I'm so excited for Thursday's draft. If you guys made it this far, like my co-host Johnny said, shout out to you guys, great fans. We the only way to thank you guys and reward you guys for being sticking with us this long is to just push out more content. That's what we will do. So we'll be absolutely more consistent. So be on the lookout for some basketball, baseball, WWE, UFC, a lot more. We're a very diverse podcast, so definitely be on the lookout for the episodes. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on YouTube. Thanks a lot. Hopefully you enjoy this episode as much as we enjoy recording this episode. Yeah, give a big thanks to my co-host Lodge, Kyrie, and Johnny. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate it. You can follow us on all streaming platforms. You can follow us on Instagram at Restricted Zone 5. So definitely give us a like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, DM us. I'm gonna definitely put up a few questions where we're gonna ask you guys what topics we should talk about. You guys will definitely let us know, and we'll definitely try to get to that. So enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the rest of your week. We will be back with another episode soon. Thank you. All right.